Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Session 2 of the 2026 Collegiate National Championship here in New Orleans, Louisiana. We are your commentators for Session 2. My name is Kevin Serrano, and I'm joined by
Tia Badger.
And we are very excited to bring you guys the second session. We were both here working as officials during the Session 1, so we are now bringing all that action to you live as your commentators for this afternoon. So Tia, talk to me a little bit more about what the energy is like here at Collegiate Nationals.
Yeah, so Collegiate Nationals is held every year, and every year it is a favorite event of many lifters because there is so much energy here, mostly due to its team scoring format as well as just being a national level event, which is a big deal. One of the very first things that we noticed in the first session is it is loud. It is very loud. Sometimes it's hard to hear the people next to you, but that's because everybody's here cheering for their teammates because they want them all to do well. And there's a lot of pressure because it's the national stage, but sometimes that pressure can make some diamonds.
Absolutely, and I was one of the chief referees on one of the platforms, and we actually had to get brought a headset with a speaker because it was so loud that some of the lifters were struggling to hear the commands, even after standing just a few feet away from them. So just kind of goes to show the energy that is brought here, and you absolutely hit it spot on with the team scoring format. So this is not a weight class versus weight class competition, so to speak, in its entirety. We are also competing for team scoring. So there are 4 championships within this competition competing all for 4 different titles. We have the men and women's equipped divisions and then men and women's raw divisions. So we have 4 different championships going and competing this weekend.
Yes, and there's well over 100 teams competing for those championships and over 1,200 lifters. And eventually, at some point, they will have that scoring page up where you can follow the team scoring at scoring.usapowerlifting.com. They just finished the first session. We're ready to start session 2 now, but they will update that soon with the results from session 1, so you can follow along through the weekend for the team scoring.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And one of the great aspects about the team scoring format is that every team has an equal opportunity to score points. It's not just you register as many people as possible to compete and try to score points. You have a limit and a nomination that has to go taking place for every school. So every school has to send their best athletes representing their schools at Collegiate Nationals. So sometimes it's even a battle within each school on seeing who gets to represent the university on the national stage. So there's so many different layers of this competition taking place.
Yeah, and like you said, you have to pick your best athletes on your team for that scoring roster. You can pick 12 athletes per division per scoring roster, and the top 7 scorers will have their score added into the team score at the end of the day. No more than 2 per division.
We've had several athletes also competing here, representing their individual schools and not coming with a team, but utilizing the individual scoring qualification totals to represent themselves here at CNATS. So for schools that have established teams, they have a set qualifying total, but for individual lifters that are wanting to solely represent their schools, there's a different qualifying total that they have to abide to because they aren't coming with a team. So we have a few of those athletes being featured here as well.
Yeah, and because they aren't coming with a team and they do have that different qualifying total, a lot of those qualifying totals for the individuals are higher than the team qualifying totals. So it's harder for them to get here, but they might be some of our top finishers.
And we are getting underway. We have the bars loaded here on all 4 platforms. Lin Wen on platform 2, 97.5 kilos.
And that's going to be a good lift, good opener. She's starting off our session strong by 3 white lights.
Platform 3 and 4s get their squat commands, Haley and Jasmine respectively.
You saw Jasmine there went super, super low. Very impressive. That's one thing the judges are definitely going to be looking for. Most common reasons for failure on squat are just either they fail to lift or they don't get low enough. So make sure to keep an eye out and make sure that that hip crease drops below that knee joint.
It's very, very overwhelming here at CNAS, just seeing the 4 different platforms competing, and we just hear, we're all the way in the back room, in the media room, and we can hear all the crowds and all the lifters screaming for their teammates.
We're gonna have a good lift from Lyris on 2. and a no lift on platform 1. You see that she got those 3 red lights with 3 red cards. That means she did not go low enough, so that's a depth call. And you'll see some of those throughout the day, but since it's an opener, she'll be able to come out and retake it and get it on the next lift.
And over on platform 4, we had a 3 red lights with a yellow card infraction, so we didn't quite see what the infraction was, so maybe it might have been a command or some sort of fail. She was an equipped lifter. Very fast squat by Haley on platform 3.
And like Kevin mentioned, the commands, you see these lifters walk out their squats and they have to wait for their commands before they get that. They get the squat command so they can start their lift. If they don't listen to those, it can be cause for a no lift, or it should be. And they will have to try their lift again on the next attempt. If they have one, that would be a yellow card.
And I think one thing we'll see here at CNETS that we likely won't see at your regular local meet is people taking more aggressive attempt strategies, or just more methodical when it comes to their attempts. I mean, this is a team championship, so these athletes are representing their teams and trying to score points, and those points are scored by placing as high as you possibly can within your division. So sometimes even a missed attempt might cause you or force you to have to go up because you just simply can't afford to lose that ground.
Yes, and the lifters can go up if they miss their lift. They don't have to repeat it. A lot of people have a good common practice of repeating a lift just to make sure they get those totals in, because they don't want to lose those points off their totals. As we've been discussing, the totals and the placements are very important for the team scoring at the end of the day. Alyssa gets the squat command on 1. Nice and low. Small hip shift, but it looks good. And it is 3 whites.
Smooth attempt by Bailey O'Sullivan on platform 4. She gets 3 whites there.
And as we're getting started here on platform 2, you'll see that Rebecca has elected for that racks in position. Lifters do get to choose racks out or racks in, and that's really just a personal preference. Some lifters, maybe if they wiggle a little bit more on their walkout, will go racks in so they don't hit the rack. But it can sometimes be a little bit less stable. The rack is sometimes a little bit more shaky, or the bar might move back and forth a little bit more. So risk and reward for the lifter, but totally a personal preference.
Very slow descent, platform 4.
And you might see more over on 3 and 4, where I think we have some of our equipped lifters. They might have a little bit of a slower descent because they're fighting that equipment as they get down, those knee wraps, that squat suit. That's a whole other battle in itself from raw powerlifting. Some of the lifters will have a certain amount of weight that they need to start with, otherwise they can't hit that depth we've been talking about, because the suit can hold them back a little bit from getting down, but they really spend a lot of time mastering in their craft for that. Heard some lifters joking around before they started that the real workout was just getting the squat suit on.
That's 3 white lights. And I personally don't lift in equipment, and I don't think you either, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, so it's one of those things where, as raw lifters, the experience on how we navigate meet day warm-ups is going to be entirely different, just because, again, that getting on the equipment and the jumps you take with equipment are just going to be so drastically different from one another. Sometimes lifters will warm up in sleeves to begin with, and then they'll throw on equipment afterwards, or we'll see that in the case for bench press as well. But I mean, just entirely different division in its entirety.
So in this session, we do have The weight classes that are competing are for women's raw is going to be 56 and 60, and then you're also going to see women's equipped competitors in those same weight classes, 56 and 60. So in the next couple hours, we'll determine 4 new individual national champions who are hoping to add to their team's points. And a lot of lifters are just kind of hoping to build to their total from the beginning of the day so that they can pull for the placement at the end. They're looking for a top 5 for a medal, a top 3 for an All-American. It's a good lift on 1.
Great descent on platform 4 by Bianca. She gets 2-1, a good lift, a red card on the side for depth. Celine, platform 3 from Boston. Three white lights.
Jessica has to go through a little bit of a sticking point on the way up, but she got it up. She unfortunately does get 2 side judges giving her a red light, so there'll be a no lift. You see both side judges gave a blue light, so that's going to just say that she went up and down. You likely saw that right as she fought through that sticking point. Sometimes the athletes will waver a little bit on the way up, and that is a cause for a no lift.
And ladies and gentlemen, if you guys are watching on the live stream and want to see what we see as far as the scoring and the live numberings on the attempts for these athletes, be sure to go to liftingcast.com/meets and go ahead and click on 2026 USA Powerlifting Collegiate Nationals Day 1, and you'll be able to see all the boards for all 4 platforms going on simultaneously. Great attempt on 4 by Nikela, representing Midland University, one of the powerhouse schools at Collegiate Nationals.
For sure, when we did predicted team scoring before the meet, they were predicted to outright win 3 of the 4 divisions, and the division that they weren't necessarily predicted to win in was the men's raw, I believe, if that's correct. They were predicted second there, but they'll still be looking to fight for that top spot. They did sweep last year, so they'll be looking to try and see if they can defend those, or if another challenger might come up and take their title. Good lift on platform 2, 2-1.
And those are 3 white lights on both platforms 3 and 4.
Julia steps up to the bar. She's going to do 102.5. That's 225 pounds. And 3 white lights for her. Nice and smooth.
We have a retake on platform 4. Let's see what Mackenzie says. And referees for 2-1, no lift. Got a call from the left-hand side referee for depth, and on the right, a blue card, so it could potentially mean either a downward motion of the bar or her knees were not fully locked out at the start or at the end of the lift.
Yeah, my best guess based on watching that was that the blue card was more for the up and down. I think right at the bottom as she was trying to hit depth, she kind of sank that a little bit and got a little off balance.
And that's one of the things about equipment that you normally don't deal with in Raw, is actually having to catch your balance, because coming out of the hole, your body just springs back up into its starting position. So if you fail to catch that that balance, you can actually topple over or dip back down, like we saw in this previous attempt.
And it's not a catch-all truth, but because of that balance needed, you'll see a lot of the equipped lifters in their squat specifically will have a little bit wider of a stance than some of the raw lifters. the raw lifters have a variety of techniques, wide and closer, but when you use that closer stance, sometimes it can be a little bit easier to lose your balance, so it's definitely less common in the equipment where it becomes an extra trouble.
Great attempt there on platform 4 by Bailey O'Sullivan. 3 white lights.
A lot of extra power from Elena on 2. So I almost wanted to pop right off her back because it was so fast, but 3 white lights for her.
We got a 5-kilo jump on platform 1. Even though Lillian missed her opening squat, she still goes up 5 kilos. So let's see how that strategy plays out for her here in the second attempt.
She hits the lift. And unfortunately, she does get another depth call from all 3 judges. I assume she'll probably stay at that weight just to be safe and make the third.
And that's one of the situations that tends to come up, even though it's a very unfortunate one, is when you go up after missing a opening attempt and you miss that second attempt off of that same reason. So now you're in a really tricky situation where now instead of trying to put on the best performance possible, you're just trying to save the meet. So I'm assuming Lillian will likely retake her attempt of 87.5, so we'll see what she inputs for her third squat.
And Amy on platform 1 did a nice job of coming back and making up for that miss on her first attempt. She went up 5 kilos even though she missed her first attempt, and she made it, and she made it good.
Again, here we see the prime example there of two same situations that are played out entirely differently.
I think that's going to be high from Maya on platform 1. Yes, 3 red lights with the red card there.
And as coaches, handlers, referees, and kind of all of the above, we always stress and emphasize that the opener should be something that you can hit on any given day, regardless of the circumstances. So even here at Collegiate Nationals, when the lights are bright and the noise is high, you really should be able to hit your opener regardless of the circumstance. So it's really tough to see some of these lifters missing back-to-back attempts.
Yeah, and you just know that it makes the lifters mad because, like you said, an opener is something that they can hit on any given day. Oftentimes they can triple, maybe sometimes even 5 reps their openers. As they make their attempt selections, they usually pick something that they can do for multiple for that first one. They'll look for something closer to their PR, but maybe not quite there for that second one, and at or above PR for the third. So sometimes if you miss that first lift, it just makes you mad because it means you don't get to try your PR on your third.
Yeah. Bianca gets 3 white lights, platform 4, picking up 7.5 kilos. Now eyes on Jessica for platform 1, retaking 97.5 after missing her opening attempt squat. Ashley gets a 2-to-1 on platform 3, good lift. So 2 different calls there. Got a red card on depth for the right-hand side referee and a blue card on the left.
Nice work of that 12.5 kilo jump. 3 white lights. She definitely had to fight a little bit, but she has a lot more in the tank for the third still. Trinity's going to take 127 for her opener. She's our last athlete on platform 2 to take her opener for this first flight. There will be 2 flights though, so we still have another group of athletes that you'll get to see.
2-1, platform 4. Lexi picks up 12.5 kilos, which normally for these weight classes, that's a pretty sizable jump to take 12.5 kilos.
Yeah, a lot of times with the lighter weight classes or the middle weight classes, they might stick more to 5 to 7 kind of on the squat, maybe 10 if they're feeling really good. And you'll see those jumps usually go up as you get into the heavier weight classes, because the heavier weight classes will just be lifting a little bit more sometimes. So a bigger jump is a smaller percentage increase than would be at these more 105 range for these lighter weight classes.
Absolutely. Nikela on platform 4, last lifter, second attempt. Two to one, also getting a red card from that same side on the right.
Solid from Rebecca on 2. Let's see if she gets the lights this time. She does not. She got 2 yellow cards. So again, that could be a multiple of things. Could be a command. Could be some foot movement maybe. If you're following along on LiftingCast with that live scoring for all the platforms, you also can see the predicted results based on the attempts that everybody currently has in. So you might have a good idea of who that top placement is going to be, and it'll be interesting to see if what the prediction at the beginning is matches what it is at the end. Good lift on 2. 1 as well. 3 white lights on platform 1. Solid work for Gabrielle with that 105. Moved quite nicely, consistent.
And I just want to turn your heads over to what we just saw on platform 4. Mackenzie was at risk of bombing out with 115, retaking that twice and getting it on the 3rd time. So very good comeback there for Mackenzie in the equipped division.
Yeah, and she lives on in the rankings for the final scores at the end, and she'll be able to add to her team score, hopefully. If you do miss all 3 of your lifts, it's called bombing out, and you can't add to your team total or register a total at the end of the meet. Peyton on 1 took just a 2.5 kilo jump, but she made it look well, so we'll see if she takes that 2.5 again for her 3rd, or if maybe she gets a little bit more confident and adds like 5.
That's a good lift for platform 2 for Rama. And what a grind on 4 for Bailey O'Sullivan, platform 4, representing William Jewell. 2-1, good lift.
Yeah, sometimes when you have a lift like that, you just gotta kind of pray in the middle as you keep going up. Clara steps out 112 on platform 3. Unfortunately, a no lift, 2-1 there. A couple different color cards, so there was a couple different things wrong with it, but hopefully she'll be able to tidy that up for that 3rd attempt. Important moment on platform 1. We just talked about we had one lifter come back from being 2 in the hole, basically. Lillian missed her first 2 attempts. She did go up after she missed that first one, but she stayed there for the 3rd, so she can register a total.
We got a few of these back-to-back over on platform 1. Similar situations, 3 ladies are coming up for the third attempts, needing to make their attempts in order to stay in the competition. Lillian will be the first one up, 87.5 kilos loaded on the bar. Good lift for Nadia, platform 3, 120 kilos.
Fight for Lyris on 2, little sticking point in the middle, but I'd say that's good, and it is.
That looked a lot deeper on platform 1. Let's see what the refs say.
It looked much deeper.
3 white lights.
Saves herself for the competition.
And you know what? Sometimes it's that easy, right? Sometimes all you really need is to get a little bit deeper. We saw the speed of the bar on that one, so it really sometimes is that mental barrier of the lifter simply needing to think about getting down there. Sometimes they're subconsciously lifting and not knowing that they're squatting high. So that's just one of those instincts that you have as a lifter as you continue to get more experience.
And part of that might have to do just with the fact that it is nationals. She probably could take that to depth every time, just no problem at a local meet. But at nationals, you get a little nervous, you get a little tight, especially for that opener when you're representing your team and not just an individual. And sometimes when you're nervous, it can be harder to squat to depth than it otherwise would be. We have our second athlete up on 1 who does need this lift to stay in the meet. 92.5, that's just over that 200-pound mark.
Lydia with the grind on platform 4, picking up 2.5 kilos. 3 white lights. And unfortunately, on platform 1, we do have a bomb out there, 2-to-1, a no lift.
I did think it was a little bit deeper than some of her other attempts, but it was still just a little bit too high. She convinced one of the 3 referees, but you gotta convince 2.
That's one of the big elements in powerlifting. It is a majority rules sport. So we do have 3 referees positioned on 3 sides of the platform, to the left, right, and front, giving the command. So that is one of the things that you really can't cut your squats high, because you have all 3 referees looking from different angles.
Yeah, and sometimes those different angles can actually look different. So it might be high on one side and not the other, which is why there's that 2-to-1, maybe with the center judge being able to see the imbalance, but...
Oh, and what a lift on platform 4. Bianca with a grind, 157.5 kilos. Was there downward motion? Oh, and it was high. Fortunately, 2-to-1, a no lift. Three whites, platform 3.
Third up on 1. 97.5 for Jessica. She needs this. So far, we've had 1 miss and 1 make in this situation on that platform, so she's going to break the tie.
Looked a little deeper. There it is.
2-to-1, good lift.
Alyssa Alvarado on 2, Lexi Steinman on 4. Good lift, good lift.
Both platforms 3 and 4 are on those third attempts there. So as we mentioned earlier, these are likely PRs or near PRs for these athletes. So they're going to start getting hopefully a little bit more excited, but these are also very hard to make.
And now we're finally down to our last third attempt for the flight on platform 4. Michaela will close us out, 172.5 kilos. This is over 3 times her body weight. But unfortunately, just a little too much for her. She still walks away with 165, which is, again, pretty close to 3 times her body weight on squat.
Fight on 1, but misses it for Iva. Just got stuck at that middle sticking point. Alyssa gets the start command. Fight. Almost had it, but just unfortunately a tiny bit too much. Misses that lift there.
We got a good lift on platform 3.
Easy for Alana on 2. Should be good. 3 white lights.
Fortunately, no lift on platform 3. 3 red lights for depth. Good lift 2-1 on platform 4.
We did start that second flight on platform 4. These are some more of our 60 kilo lifters in that equipped division. Oftentimes, when they make the flights, they make them based on how you're seated. So they'll try and get all those top athletes for weight classes together. And when a weight class is in 2 flights, usually that top group of athletes will be in the second flight so that they get the advantage because of their higher qualifying total to pull last.
And a good example of this is platform 3. We have all of the raw 56 women competing in that platform. However, the flight D, was the second flight, are the lifters who are seated higher, meaning people that have the higher qualifying total coming into the competition. And then what's the breakdown on platforms 1 and 2?
On 1, we have athletes from that 56 division for the women's raw. And the second flight is the women's raw 60 kilo lifters. And then on platform 2, both flights are women's raw 60 kilo lifters. So that top flight on platform 2, or the second flight on platform 2 is that top flight of 60 kilo lifters. The second seated group of 60 kilo lifters is the second flight on platform 1. And that third seated flight is the first flight on platform 2.
Wow, quite a mouthful there. I mean, you have 3 entire flights, all for one division, the 60 kilo women's raw division. That's one of the most stacked divisions in this division. I mean, it's one of the more concentrated weight classes we have here. I mean, among these, for instance, like in the men, we have the 75, 82s, and 90 kilos, which are some of the more, deeper ones. In the women's division, we have the 60.
Yeah, so for the women, some of the most highly contested divisions is going to be that middleweight range where you have 60, 65, and 70. And those athletes, there's so many of them that the people at the top are just incredibly impressive. We do have the defending champion from last year, Madison Rock, back to try and defend her title for that division. So we'll see if she can get that done. She'll be in that second flight on platform 2.
All eyes over on platform 2. We have one of our other situations here with Rebecca needing to squat 105 out of Purdue University in order to stay in the meet. She retook this both for her second and now for her third, and needs this in order to stay in the meet. Great lift on platform 3 for Allison.
Rebecca walks it out.
That looked deep enough.
And you are correct by a slim margin, 2-1, but it's good enough.
Great catch by the spotters on platform 4.
Moment of appreciation for the spotters because squats can be scary to spot. Sometimes you don't quite know what direction the athlete is going to go, and some of them can feel quite heavy when you catch them. But these spotters are all brought on here because they've done it a lot before and they're quick and efficient at loading and they really keep the meet moving. If we didn't have the team let them this meet, which already goes from 8 a.m. to it will be nearly 11:30 tonight, probably when that third session finishes, and they'll be here pretty much all day working.
Great lift on platform 2 by, oh, no lift on depth. My apologies. Good lift on platform 4, 3 white lights.
Very fast opener for Emma on 1. Gets that good 90 kilos in. She definitely has a lot more in the tank. Fight for Marissa, up. She gets it, we'll see.
If there was downward motion. 2-1, good lift.
Did well to fight through that sticking point without going up and down. Kind of can be tough at that middle range because that's where we were talking about. There becomes a balance issue.
Lynn when platform 2, 112.5 kilos. Down to our 3 last third attempts on platform 2.
Easy opener on 1.
Looks like a good attempt, platform 2. Ashley Lopez opening this up with 170 kilos, representing Northeastern University.
Looking for 115 on 2. Good for Elise on 1. That should be good on 2 as well. Oh, unfortunately not. 2-1, no lift on depth.
What a grind on platform 3 by Isabella Van Horn, 125 kilos.
That was incredible.
3 white lights.
Good lift on 4 as well.
We are down to our last few attempts for the first flight on platforms 2 and 3 respectively before we move all 4 platforms into the second flight.
Emma with an opener at 175 gets to put those 3 red plates on there.
Wow, what a speedy opener.
Yeah, smooth and controlled on the way down, made sure she hit that bottom position and then popped right up.
And a smooth third attempt for Maggie Zolgassi. Platform 3, 3 white lights.
Up next on 4, you have Jalen opening with 185. That's over that 400-pound mark by a little bit. And she She is seated in 4th place, so she'll be looking to have a good day, maybe move up to 3rd or higher, see if we can get her an All-American spot.
Last year, she placed 3rd at Collegiate Nationals in Oklahoma City.
So she'll definitely want to defend that. Alicia, too, is going to take 117.5 for her 3rd. That's a 7.5 kilo jump. From her 1st to her 2nd, she took 5. So sometimes you can just feel really good after a lift and you take a little bit bigger of a jump. Maybe the opener felt a little slow, so she played it conservative on the 2nd and swinging for the fences on the 3rd, but we'll see if she can get this. Unfortunately, just not quite there today.
And I want you all to keep an eye on Anika for Platform 4. Last year, she placed 4th at Collegiate Nationals in Oklahoma City, but now, coming into this year, with the 1-year turnaround, she is now forecasted in that 1st place position. So let's see how that forecasted placing holds up. Bit of a tough struggle for that opening attempt. She does get 3 white lights, though. Let's see where she goes from there.
That was very fast for Valerie on 3. Very white lights for that.
And now for our final opening attempt on Platform 4 for the 2nd flight. Isabella, 190 kilos out of Texas A&M University.
And 2-1, no lift. See Alex on 1 with that opener. Small sticking point in the middle. Walks away with 3 white lights.
2-1 on Platform 4, 3 on Platform 3.
Elena missed it and went up and made the squat. See? No lift. I think she jumped the rack command.
Yeah, it looked like she took a step before. Again, those lifters, every lifter has to demonstrate control of the bar as soon as they lock out the squat, so they can't just immediately walk into the rack. So if you're used to that in training, you might want to fix that now before you get called on that rack command. You do have to wait for that referee to give you the rack signal.
Hayden on Platform 2. We have our 127.5. We've got a kind of a streak of bad luck going on right here on Platform 2. The last 7 athletes have missed their attempts, so looking to break that. Yeah, she shakes her head no. I think she knows she maybe cut the depth a little bit there. Yeah. Gets 3 red lights, couple different color cards. Not quite there today.
Very fast 2nd attempt for Camille, 135. Oh, unfortunately gets called on depth. And even with the speed on the bar, some of the referees, or our referees, are really keen on calling that depth, ensuring that hip crease does go below that top surface of the knee.
Depth is a judgment call, but in my opinion, it's a little bit easier of the judgment calls because you have a defined line that they need to kind of cross with that hip crease. So either they make it or they don't. And Abigail on Platform 2 breaks that streak of misses with 3 white lights and a very nice 3rd.
And a very deep squat, platform 4. Diva Gandhi, 135 kilos out of Northeastern University, 3 white lights. Smooth opener by Faith Smith on platform 3.
Not sure what's going on with the screen on platform 1. Makes it a little bit difficult for the loaders, so that's why they're going a little bit slower over there, because they have to kind of do more of the math out in their heads versus just seeing the picture of what exactly they're supposed to load. But competition will continue regardless. Lana with the 130. Let's see what they say for that.
Very, very fast opener. Platform 3 by Kylie out of UTSA. 2-1. 3 white lights for her.
2-1 good for Alana. No lift for Carla on 1. A little bit too high.
Ava Thaipen retaking 145 kilos, platform 4. Phoebe looking to pick up an additional 5 kilos on platform 2.
And Ava on platform 4, you can really hear her teammates are definitely making a lot of that noise. They got some rattlers out there, but unfortunately misses it.
So I believe Ava was our lifter that fell forward on that opener attempt. A little bit better of a recovery on the second attempt, so let's see if she can just work around that equipment a little bit better and see if she can actually get that nice bounce out of the hole. That's one of the interesting things about equipped lifting that you normally don't deal with in raw. Sometimes an attempt can look completely difficult, like an RPE 10, but it might just be you not timing the jump or not working that appropriately, the equipment.
Got Haley from Davenport on platform 3. Their team is predicted to do very well this weekend. I think they were seated second in the women's raw, so they'll be looking to, unfortunately just loses balance there, but caught by the spotters. Just an opener, so she'll be able to come out and retake that.
Great catch also on platform 4. And yeah, talking about Davenport, they already have a national champion off of just session 1. Delaney Sousley won the 48 kilo raw women's division, so their raw team is looking really good this year.
And she was one of those athletes who had to come back from that position of missing her first couple lifts and then coming back to make that third squat. So setting the tone for that team to do well this weekend. A little wave from Sophia on 1. She's gonna take 125 and make it look good.
No lifter on platform 4. That was a 2-1 no lift on platform 3.
Karen on 2. Very nice form as she did that for 3 white lights.
Smooth opener by Sophia Amana on platform 1. One of the things I really like about Collegiate Nationals is the unpredictable element the competition brings with it. With all the different teams, all the different coaching staffs, and just different ways and strategies some of these teams are taking their athletes into the competition. I mean, these attempt selections are just going to be not what we ordinarily see all the time when it comes to powerlifting, or at least what people would usually think attempt selection would look like. So that's what I really like about this different element that Collegiate Nationals brings.
Yeah, and that attempt selection can be kind of chaotic because they only have 60 seconds to decide how that lift felt, what that means for their next attempt, and what they're going to do for their next attempt.
And again, as these lifters, I mean, these are college athletes, lifters in their early 20s, late teens, so they are barely dipping their toes into what powerlifting is like. They likely have been competing for a few years, or if anything, competing for barely a year. So good lift on platform 1, but these athletes are still figuring out themselves what their strength capabilities are. So having that conversation with your coach on what you can hit on the day within 60 seconds is a task on its own.
Good lift for Taylor on 2, I believe. A little bit high. Sometimes I think it can be hard to hit that depth when you have such a wide stance. She maybe leans a little bit forward with her shoulders, so that'll bring that butt up a little.
Seven and a half kilo jump, platform 4, Emma from Texas A&M University. And Bella Delgado on platform 3, she gets 3 white lights, and she is your current forecasted leader in this competition, and the person who people are really gunning to take the throne from. I mean, she has competed at Collegiate Nationals and done really well at this championship.
Yeah, that 56 kilo weight class, there's a lot of lifters who are right at the top, and if they have a good day, could come away on top. It's going to be a tough fight, probably a heartbreaker in the end for somebody. Jessica Haggerty on 3, the 155 opener.
Let's see what the referees call her on that depth. Yeah, 2-1, unfortunately no lift.
She should be able to come back and take that a little bit lower. One of the big things she did this year was she, I believe, won Best Lifter at the Nebraska Collegiate Cup, which is all of the kids from Midland and McKendree and Concordia and a couple other schools in there. But that's a tough Collegiate Cup. The joke there is that it's like a mini national. You got a lot of those top teams that you're going to see here.
And that's one of the great things that USA Powerlifting has done over the past few years is the introduction of the Collegiate Cup is allowing these college teams to showcase their talent pool without having to bring their entire roster to Collegiate Nationals or to the Collegiate Cup. So kind of showcasing and giving everybody a glimpse of what they're expecting to see on the big stage.
And the Collegiate Cups are good practice for nationals because a lot of the Collegiate Cups, they're considered more of like a regional level event. A lot of them are going to have jury tables at them. Some of them are going to be harder to, they're going to have higher ranked judges because of that jury table. And so you're going to see more of what the expectation is as a bigger meet versus a local meet that maybe only has 20 kids in it. Incredible work from Elise on 1 to fight through that middle, very slow, almost paused in the middle. And she gets that lift with 3 white lights. Cameron there on 2. Gets the lift 2-1. One side judge thought maybe we're a little bit high. We'll keep that in mind for the next lift. And much like we mentioned with the Collegiate Cups, Nationals does, of course, have jury tables where not only is there 3 sets of eyes on each lift from the referees, you have 3 jury members each watching the lift as well that can just make sure that they agree with everything the referees are saying. And you can challenge lifts if you disagree with the referees, but the jury table is also referees, so they usually agree, but every once in a while you can get a lift overturned, so it's always worth asking.
Fortunately, a no lift on platform 3 for Maggie out of UIC in Chicago.
celebration for Anne-Marie for the opener. Sometimes it can be a little bit of a relief to just get that first lift in.
And for our heaviest equipped squat of the day thus far, Isabella Resendez, 205 kilos, 451 pounds for a second attempt out of Texas A&M University. And look at that speed on that bar. Isabella, good lift on platform 4, 2-1.
Got a lifter from USF on platform 2, Daniela. Gonna open with 142.5. Fight from Alex on 1. Kind of got off balance in the middle, leaned forward a little, had to get up. Good lift, 2-1.
And it looks like platform 4 is going to be one of our first ones to finish. We're already on the 3rd attempt of the second flight. Camille retaking 135 kilos. We can hear the crowd being loud for her as she retakes her second attempt weight. Kylie over on platform 3, 127.5 kilos.
Looks good on 1, and it is 3 white lights.
Very fast attempt on platform 3.
Super fast on the way down, which can be hard sometimes. Sometimes when you go fast on the way down, you can bounce bad out of the bottom, but she did well to make that work look easy. No lift on 2. Staking point in the middle for Kayla, but she gets it up.
Just like that, 3 white lights for Kayla.
I always say you don't get points for pretty, and that is definitely true in powerlifting. A good lift is a good lift.
That's one of the great things about powerlifting is that we are objectively refereeing these lifts. So again, they don't need to look pretty. They just have to meet the technical standards, the requirements to execute these lifts in order for them to be counted as good lifts. Great second attempt by Isabella on platform 2, and over on platform 3, 3 white lights. And what a celebration there for Olivia.
Keep an eye out on platform 3 upcoming. At the end of the flight, we're gonna have Bella Delgado is gonna take 162.5, which is an interesting attempt selection because I believe, if my numbers are correct, that ties the current national record for that women's raw 56 kilo class. So you can chip records by ½ a kilo, which you have to chip it in order to get it. It is currently held by Jessica Haggerty, so I'm kind of a little bit surprised that she didn't take that extra ½ kilo just to try and chip it on her second attempt. But with that being said, you expect to make your second attempt and you hope to make your third, so she'll definitely try it on the third. She makes it second, so make sure we watch that coming up.
But now let's watch over platform 4. Ava needs 145 kilos to stay in the meet. Let's see if she has it. Oh, and what a grind by platform 4, Ava.
And I think the depth was there.
3 white lights, and she's in the meat. That's probably one of the best feelings, right? I mean, what a mood swing of emotions, right? From at risk of bombing out to scoring that attempt and actually scoring team points here for your team. I mean, there's some of the more competitive schools that they need points for.
Yeah, she really had to work for that, and she made her school and her teammates proud.
We got a retake of a second attempt. Wait, Annabelle, platform 4 out of Sam Houston State University. And a retake on the opener, platform 3. Ashley gets a 2-1, good lift.
Yeah, we're on our last opener on platform 2. Madison Rock's gonna come out and take 167.5.
It's a no lift on platform 4. Smooth second attempt, platform 1. 2-1, unfortunately, no lift on 1. Just needs to get a little bit deeper for her next attempt. Madison Rock, opening attempt. Wow.
Moves fast.
Wow.
Three white lights.
And Brianne Jones is just as surprised as I am. 3 white lights after that miss of a second attempt. Good job recovering for the third.
Easy third for Emma on 1. Made it look like an opener. I really like when you can see the athletes make the third and then get excited about it. Maybe they surprised themselves. Maybe they were just a little bit scared to make that, so it's a sense of relief, but you gotta get into it.
Gina out of platform 3 out of Stanford University picks up 10 kilos on her squat, 3 white lights.
Consistent bar speed there for Addison on the third, but a little bit too high, unfortunately.
And
So-
unfortunately, also on platform 2, we do have another 3 red light lift there on depth. So we'll see what the strategy is there for our lifter.
Karen on 2 sank that squat.
Representing Rutgers University, and she gets 3 white lights.
Miss for Charu on 1. I think maybe she went a little bit too low and got herself stuck at the bottom and just couldn't get out of the hole.
And Leia on platform 3 just loses that in the hole. Great catch by the spotters.
Ashley Lopez looking for 187.5 on 4 for Northeastern University.
Great attempt there, gets the recommend, and our referees say 2-1, good lift.
Should be a good lift on 2 as well.
So let's see what our referees call Jessica Haggerty on platform 3. 2-1, a good lift, and we saw that she took a 5-kilo jump, trying to cover some ground because she is trailing behind Bella Delgado, who's up now, and she is currently forecasted first in the forecasted total. So it looks like Jessica and Bella are going back and forth on the forecasted placings, just shy of a few kilos from each other.
Struggling with the walkout a little bit, but that's heavy on your back, 192.5 kilos.
Got over 400 pounds.
I think it's 425, well over 400.
What an attempt. Jalen manages to lock it out, and what did the referee say? Fortunately, a no lift. A whole lot of color card action there.
Yeah, I think it takes a lot of effort when she initially had picked it up and put it back down, got it caught on the rack a couple times. She might be one of those lifters who in the future would benefit from more of a racks in position if she's hitting the side frequently, or maybe that was just a one-off, but...
And you notice that's one of the common trends with equipped lifting is the tendency to want to move the racks in just to avoid those plates hitting the uprights by any means necessary. I mean, that can really, really shake you up. What a smooth recovery attempt by Emma out of Texas A&M. Platform 4, 2-1, a no lift. It's one of the tough things to see when you have such a grind. You manage to lock it out, but unfortunately you cut it a little bit too high.
Yeah, and sometimes when you miss a lift like that and you do get those lights, you are one, mad at yourself for missing the lift, and two, mad that you didn't get the lift because you just used a lot of energy. And attempts like that on squat where it's that hard can sometimes make it hard to bench or deadlift later in the day.
I mean, with this quick of a flight and turnaround, it's these sessions are moving fast. I mean, you have about, what, 40 minutes to less than an hour before you're back up to benching on the platform. Great attempt. Platform 3, Olivia.
She went as low as possible and then got it all the way back up, and a good lift.
Not a doubt, 3 white lights.
She did not give the referees an option.
That was about one of the smoothest over 430-pound squats out of platform 4. 3 white lights for Amelie. £474. Platform 4, Isabella Resendez, 60 kilos. This is 3.5 times her body weight on a squat. Placed third at last year's Collegiate Nationals in Oklahoma City and is now forecasted in first. That was 3 white lights on platform 3 for Nagy out of UIC.
Anna Marie cut that high on platform 2, but it moved fast, so I have no doubt she'll be able to take it lower.
Looks like she might have had some downward motion. Let's see what the referees call it on that one. They called her on depth, 2-1, no lift.
And that was, it looks like that last squat on platform 4. They're going to set up for bench, and they'll take a 10-minute break on platform 4. The platforms do run independently, so their 10-minute clock will start regardless of the position on the other platforms, and then they'll keep going. Powerlifting takes a long time, so if they can keep one platform moving, they're going to keep that platform moving. Nice work for Cameron on 2. That ought to be a good lift.
And Kayla Reddy out of Texas A&M comes out to 130 kilos, trying to pick up an additional 2.5 for her total. Unfortunately, a no lift, but she'll have time to ready up for the bench press.
Carla on 1, missed her opener, made her second. She'll come out and take a third elected to just take a 2.5 kilo jump, so maybe a little bit conservative after missing that opener. Really wants to make sure she can get some momentum built by just making this lift and then pulling some more later in bench and deadlift.
And a 5 kilo jump, platform 3, Kylie out of UTSA. We see she had that shift coming out of the hole, kind of shifted towards her left side. So unfortunately, that'll be a no lift, but still walks away with 127.5 kilos.
Julie on 2. Let's see if she amended that opening miss. No, unfortunately, she will have to come out and take it for a third. Nice 117 for Carla.
Fortunately, no lift on platform 3.
Sophie on 1, Daniela on 2. Easy work for Daniela. Lean in the middle, but not a problem. Good lift.
We're down to our last 4 squat attempts of the second round on platform 2. And we are wrapping up our third attempts on platform 1.
We have 3 lifters left on platform 1 and 4 on platform 2. See, Sarah's gonna come up on platform 2. She's gonna take 155. She's from Missouri Valley College. That college finished 14th at last year's nationals, but their score of 17 points was right in that zone where there's a bunch of teams, so they could make some moves to move up a couple spots this year for sure. So they're really counting on their lifters, especially those early in this weekend, to set a good foundation for their team score.
2-1, a good lift on platform 3.
Emily, platform 2, currently forecasted in 3rd. Smooth and steady there. She did a really nice job of bracing through that whole squat and not getting out of position. Taylor up on platform 2. She's our forecasted 2nd place challenger for this, as we discussed, large group of 60 kilo raw women. And that's smooth, nice and steady and strong. 3 white lights for her.
And with that, we conclude the squatting over on platform 1. So our spotters and loaders will set up the bench and platform for the bench press. So we will see you all in 10 minutes over on platform 1. 2 platforms remain. Platform 2 and platform 3 are rounding out. We have a few more attempts left on platform 3. We got 4 attempts here, and we are just about to start our third attempts after Madison Rock takes her second attempt squats. And just to remind everybody, our lifters on platform 2 are lifting raw. So we saw over on platform 4, our ladies were lifting in equipment, squat suits, and knee wraps. Madison is lifting completely raw, so all she has is a belt, sleeves, and wrist wraps.
She moves it easy.
The speed on that is insane.
And that's 3 white lights, and that 175 is 3.5 kilos under her national record that she already holds. So she will look to up that on her third for sure.
And a good recovery by Layla on platform 3, 155 kilos as she rounds out her squatting. 160 now for Gina, representing Stanford University. Long ways out from Louisiana.
Yeah, a lot of these teams had to travel a long ways to get here, so they want to make it worth their while. Got teams from all across the country. I know we have a couple lifters even from Hawaii that had to come.
Eyes over on platform 2. Taylor needs this lift in order to stay in the meet. Looked easy.
Gets it up. And successfully saves herself 2-1.
I mean, you cannot get any closer than that. 2-1, a good lift. I mean, any one red light there, and your meet would have been over, but not for Taylor. She walks away with 125 kilos and is able to come back in the bench press. Now, Jessica Haggerty taking another 5-kilo jump. It's 2.5 kilos more than her all-time best of 162.5. Looked easy. What do our referees say on depth?
That looked incredible.
3 white lights, and that's probably one of the easiest PRs you'll ever see.
For sure. And she'll definitely be glad to get that on top of what she already had, because she did miss her opener. So way to shine in a pressure situation, and then even more on top of that.
And I think really what it was a bit of damage control after missing the opening attempt, not wanting to jump too high up for the second. Platform 2, Maria, in a similar situation as Taylor, needs this attempt in order to stay in the competition. 135 kilos out of Louisiana State University. Bella Delgado, 167.5, platform 3. Depth look good. What do our judges say on 2?
2-1, no lift.
What a great attempt on platform 3. Our referees say 3-1, and Bella Delgado goes 3 for 3 and is your current leader. So really, it's all about it's hers to lose at this point with that good of a squat attempt and as well-rounded of a powerlifter as she is. She's forecasted in first as we speak. So now platform 3 is officially done, and we are going to start our 10-minute timer for that platform as they set up for the bench press event. We are just about 90 seconds away from the commencement of bench presses over on platform 4. They were the first platform to finish out squats.
Excellent depth at the bottom for Kaylee. Good lift. Seems. Yes, 3 white lights for her. It's an amazing feeling to have after your third squat.
We see on screens our spotters and loaders, referees getting to the platform.
Paige walks out 140. Good lift for her. Gets to hug that coach.
We hear the noise, and we now know platform 4 is up with the University of Louisiana at Lafayette. One of our stronger equipped teams represented here at Collegiate National. They always come out strong and loud.
And I see Anne-Marie on one, failed it, unfortunately.
So yeah, she got it up, but those spotters helped her up with that weight, so
Yeah.
that'll be a no lift.
I think you could kind of tell the spotters were a little unsure about whether they maybe took it a little bit too early or not. But in those decisions, you kind of have to take it before it drops.
Yeah, again, it's one of those spotters' best judgment, and as soon as they start, they're the ones closest to the bar, so if they see that athlete struggling, that bar coming back down, that's almost a clear indication for the spotters to take that weight. And again, these aren't our spotting and loading crews that are picked up just off the street. These are professional spotting and loading teams that are coming out from different universities and programs in powerlifting. So they are not only just spotters and loaders, but a lot of them are powerlifters and competitors themselves.
Yeah, some of the spotters and loaders will compete at
Later
this
today,
event
yeah.
later, which is amazing because it is exhausting to spot and load. So to be able to do that on day one and recover and come back and compete later in the weekend is impressive.
And then vice versa, we have athletes who compete and then come back and spot and load for the last few sessions when we have the heavyweights competing on Sunday.
Emma fights through the middle and gets it.
Three highlights.
Good lift. All right, we got one more athlete who is in double trouble. Needs 145 to stay in the meet. Julie walk out to the platform.
This is one of those attempts, and specifically one of the lifters whose upside and downside are significantly, there's a large gap between this. She's currently forecasted in 6th place. Last year at Collegiate Nationals, she placed 7th, landed within the top 10. So now she's at risk of walking home empty-handed without a total, or landing a spot and potentially striking within the top 5 and walking away with a medal. So Julie Zhang, platform 2.
Moves so fast.
And again, it's a depth issue. Let's see what the refs say.
2-1, good lift.
And saved by a hair, Julie Zhang can continue her meet. And she is now, again, with that opening attempt of 145, which she retook twice, is forecasted in 6th place. So talk about what huge of a gap we got there. I mean, from walking out to empty-handed to now being within the top 10.
Yeah, she had no refs convinced on the depth of the first one. She got 1 on the second, not quite enough, and got 2 on the third, which is just enough to get your lift. Did a good job of getting progressively better and better. Brianna
See what
gets
her
the
refs
squat
call.
up. No lift, 2-1.
And so for those who are watching who are more familiar with raw lifting and aren't as familiar with equipped lifting, over on platform 4, Nikela Vallejos is opening us up with 67.5 kilos. And just to talk about the differences between equipped lifting, with that bench shirt, your arms are stuck out right in front of you. A lot of the times you see lifters walking with shirts on with their arms straight out in front of them. And so with the equipped shirt, you are essentially pulling that bar down to your chest and using your back to actually get that bar to your chest. And then once you get that press command and that bar springs back out, it's really about managing and controlling that bar and ensuring that you maintain that bar path all the way through the lockout.
That was an incredible fight on platform 2 for that last squat. Well-earned third attempt. Good lift for Daniela. And what you were saying about the equipped lifting and the bench shirts, how they have to pull down on the bar against the shirts, sometimes you can see them do that and they have to pull down, and then when they get to the bottom, they have to switch and push up. Sometimes you'll see the bar wiggle a little bit at the bottom as a result of that. So sometimes they have to wait a little bit for that press command until that bar is fully stationary, because it can be hard to switch from pulling to pressing.
It's your body wanting to do two different things at once, right? Press that bar out, right? That's what the bench shirt wants to do, but you're actively pulling that bar and resisting that bar and holding it down to your chest.
Sarah, 160. Excellent work there. Earns herself 3 white lights for that effort.
We're down to our last 3 squat attempts over on platform 2.
And Emily really wants this. She went up 7.5 kilos. The difference between the forecasted 3rd and 4th right now is just 5 kilos, and she is in that mix. So if she misses this, it gives the advantage to Sarah. So she'll want to stay on top after squats and keep that advantage.
This is one of those divisions where every single kilo matters. 162.5 Emily. And that'll be a no lift. So she is pushed back down to 155 as her best squat. And just like that, I mean, we see the 5th place competitor, Daniela, with a forecasted 390 kilo total, now just separated by 7.5 kilos with Emily. So, I mean, the disparity between these weight classes is marginal with these in this division with the totals.
Yeah, and that 6th place person in that category has a 387.5, so that's just 2.5 off of that 390 for that 5th place. Those medals are going to be brutal at the end of the day.
Very excited to see how Deadlift plays out.
Taylor coming out to do 175.
Taylor really taking her time, 175 kilos. Again, this is almost 3 times her body weight for a 3rd squat attempt. Taylor.
Money.
What a good attempt. Referees, 3 white lights.
And the scream and the excitement as you walk away, because that 175, Madison Rock did that as her 2nd attempt, so right now they're tied on squat. Madison Rock, of course, is up next. She's going to take 179 in order to chip by 1/2 of a kilo the national record that she holds.
Again, Madison Rock walked away her champion last year at Collegiate Nationals, but is being threatened by Taylor. So this is one of those lifts that Madison truly needs. So we thought Madison walking in was going to be your champion or favorite, but she is getting her work cut out for her. She needs this lift in order to continue in that lead.
Yeah, and if you look at their projected openers for deadlift and bench, they're both just 5 kilos apart for those, so all 3 of their lifts are really close.
This is just 1 kilo under Madison's all-time best of 180. And that's a good attempt by Madison Rock. 4 kilos added to her total, and referees say 2-1, good lift.
And she stays ahead for now. See if she can hold that.
And again, yeah, you're absolutely right. That's one of the things about the 60s. It's just one of the most fascinating, or at least for me, it's been one of the weight classes that I really like seeing. It's that nice split between lifting very, very heavy weight and still having good relative body weight to strength ratios. So this weight class is one of the more competitive ones we'll see at CNATs.
And that record there closed out our squat attempts for this session. All of the platforms will move towards bench. Platform 2, of course, will have that 10-minute interlude, but the other 3 platforms are up and running, and we'll get to see some nice openers, hopefully, from all of the athletes.
We're just about to kick off. We're here at platform 3, bench press attempts. We got 2 bench press attempts here. Platform 3 and platform 4. Maria on 3, Nikela on 4. That is a 3 white light attempt over on platform 1. And again, ladies and gentlemen, if you just joined the live stream and are watching this for the first time, be sure to go to liftingcast.com/meets and go ahead and scroll to 2026 USA Powerlifting Collegiate Nationals Day 1. So you can go ahead and take a look at the action and see all the live scoring that we have here right in front of us. It's a good attempt over on platform 3. Our lifter on platform 4, Bailey, getting set up with a 15-kilo jump out of William Jewell. Able to lock it out. Let's see if her butt stayed on the bench. I saw those hips rise. Yeah, and our referees on the side call her for her butt lifting up off the bench. Multiple points of contact in the bench press. We have our upper back and shoulders on the bench. The butt has to remain in contact with the bench at all times during the lift, and our feet have to remain completely flat on the platform as well. We see Celine Ho, 50-kilo opener out of Boston University. And that is a good lift. 3 white lights. Bianca Carrizales, platform 4, 82.5 kilos out of Midland University. And over on platform 1, we have a 3 white light lift. We have Allison, platform 3 out of Penn State University, getting herself set up. 52.5 kilos, very easy attempt. Lexi Steinman on platform 4, equipped bench press, 107.5 kilos. Natasha on platform 1 gets that start command, 52.5 kilos, easy attempt. Gets 3 white lights there. Oh, and great, amazing catch by the spotters on platform 4. Very, very good catch. We saw that she was having a very, very difficult time getting that bar to her chest, and that bar actually came over to her face. So our spotters had a very, very quick reaction time in being able to get that bar before anything catastrophic could happen.
Good lift on platform 3.
The funny thing is that you'd expect the meet to get a little bit quieter during the bench press attempt with the commands, but that's not the case here, right? It's just as loud as it was during squats, which is why our referees are utilizing those speakers and microphones in order to actually be able to give the commands, allowing the lifters to actually hear them.
I don't know what would happen so much if the referees weren't mic'd, because it is loud.
You'd lose your voice, that's for sure. What a sticky point. Platform 1, again, just stays in that sticky point, unable to lock out that bar, so she'll have another go at it. Again, these are second attempt bench presses over on platform 1. And rapidly moving on platform 4, we're already on to our third attempt. Siriana Serrano, Texas A&M, 70 kilos for a third attempt bench press.
Yeah, and you can see it's 67 to 70, so it's a 2.5 kilo jump, but that 2.5 kilo jump for a third attempt bench press is brutal sometimes.
I believe Siriana's lifting registered in the equipped division, but is lifting raw. So again, that might be a team scoring strategy there for Texas A&M.
Good fight through the middle. Didn't quite want to come off her chest so easy, but she gets 3 white lights for her efforts.
An opportunity for Maya on platform 4 to go 6 for 6 with 72.5 kilos being the last piece to that.
Alyssa gets the lift 2-1 on platform 1. Blue light from the side referee.
Tough sticking point for Maya on platform 4. She's going to come back for the deadlift. We got our last opening bench press attempt on platform 3. Miggy Sogassi, 65 kilos loaded on the bar.
You can see she uses that maximum grip width, it looks like, from here. There is a little ring on the bar that indicates that for the lifters, so they know exactly how far they can hold their hands apart on the bar. And it works because she gets 3 white lights and an easy opening attempt.
And over on platform 4, Bailey O'Sullivan unable to lock it out on that third bench press attempt, so she is only walking away with 60 kilos. She did take a 15 kilo jump as we discussed earlier, so a very aggressive attempt selection there by the Will and Jewel coaching staff. So let's see how that strategy plays out for her in trying to pick up those lost kilos for the deadlifts.
Yeah, and it looked like maybe with her left hand she hit the rack on the way up on that lift, which you can do as long as it doesn't help you, but it definitely makes the lift harder to complete because
yeah.
it throws you off.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't help. Mikkel on platform 4, again, that seesaw action with locking out that bench press attempt, that she's able to lock it out, gets that rack command. What did the referee say? 2-1, no lift. However, what a valiant effort there for the third attempt.
Got Megan on platform 1. A little uneven with the arms, but it looked easy. And on platform 2, we're getting ready to start again on bench with that first flight of lifters. See some referees getting situated there, making sure that everything's set up and ready to go.
Now that we got all 4 platforms bench pressing, I just want to discuss one commonly missed point when it comes to the bench press commands, and specifically the touch point on the chest. A lot of times lifters often confuse bench press attempts for that bar. They confuse what motionless means. So a lot of the times they think that referees are either counting or they're waiting until that bar touches the chest. But the rule book actually says that the referees are waiting for that bar to become motionless on the chest. And that means the bar has to be completely still. So whether that bar is sinking down on the chest, it's swaying back and forth, that is not motionless. So that is why oftentimes you see a difference in the speed of attempts with that press command from some lifters versus others. They just do a better job in being able to keep that bar motionless on the chest.
You see, Lyris took some time on platform 2, really making sure she got her setup correct. She kind of had it around for a while where she was sitting up, where her butt was in the air. The reason why lifters do that is because what they're trying to do is make sure their shoulders and their neck have good tight contact with the bench as a good contact point in a base, because you're pressing right above using your shoulders, so you want them to really be pressed into the bench so that you don't slide around or move.
And bench press is also going to be one of the lifts where the bar path isn't entirely vertical compared to the squat or deadlift, right? You're going to be benching on a more slant. You're going to bring that bar kind of closer to your midsection, upper abdomen, versus that upper sternum or clavicle area, as a lot of people would often confuse if they're just beginning out bench pressing.
Yeah, and squat and deadlift, in order to optimize your energy and not waste anything, you definitely want to have that straight bar path in your bench. It will be at a little bit of an angle just because of the way you're pressing.
Great attempt, Elizabeth Collins, platform 4. 2-1, good lift.
And on platform 3, we're we're going to get a no lift. You see those yellow lights there. In my opinion, we can't hear the commands from back here, but we can kind of see the referee a little bit on the screen. I think she jumped to the press command.
Good lift on 4, 3 white lights. And again, there is no predetermined amount of time a lifter has to hold that bar on the bench, on the chest. It's really about when that bar becomes motionless. You see Platform 3 was a great example of what we're talking about here. We saw a little bit of a sort of bounce on the chest, but our referee did a really good job in waiting for that bar to become completely motionless before giving that press command.
Yeah, sometimes athletes will come off the platform and say, the press commands are really long, but you can't press until the bar is stopped, so they're not actually making you hold the bar, they're just waiting for you to rest. So you can get yourself shorter press commands by stopping the bar faster.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see Alyssa on platform 2 has a soft touch, but she does a nice job with it. Gets a good opener with 3 white lights.
Kind of a 2-part lockout on platform 4, 3 white lights there. We saw she benched with that equipped shirt, and then it kind of got to the lockout, and it just needed to re-engage those triceps to finalize that final part in the lockout to complete the lift.
On platform 1, it's good lift, 2 to 1. A little bit of blue light, because I think she kind of went a little crooked in the middle with the up and down on the one side. But she did a good job there with how crooked her body was to make sure to like keep her butt on the bench and her feet down and not just panic and fail the lift. That's a good fight, slow bench on platform 3, but gets the work done and gets it done fairly neatly for being as slow as it was. Good lift, 2 to 1.
Smooth opening attempt by Olivia Jokic out of the University of Houston. 3 white lights.
Both platforms 2 and 3 currently getting handoffs. And Nadia just gets stuck at that middle point. Something that's hard as an athlete is a lot of times when you're in practice and you get your lift-offs, you usually have your training partner or your coach, and you kind of get them from the same person all the time. So some of these first, second attempts in competition as it starts to maybe your opener is your first attempt or your second attempt where it gets a little bit heavier, it can be hard to adjust to a little bit of a different lift-off. So good practice is to try to have a couple different people give you lift-offs in the gym, but it's not always an option for those with smaller teams or those with designated, like assigned partners to train with. So it's another element that you don't necessarily always think about.
And I think that brings up a really, really good point when it comes to competing at the national level, and especially traveling to a competition, is wanting to minimize the amount of external variables that you can't quite necessarily control that might affect your lifting, handoffs being one of them. If you consistently train without a handoff, that, for example, might require you to use more energy in unracking the bar, but it makes it consistent every single time, and you not relying on somebody to hand off the weight for you versus you handing off, having somebody to hand off the weight for you. It throws in that element of inconsistency if the handoff person isn't somebody that you're not used to. So again, it just comes down to adapting and training and replicating the circumstances you train with. You don't want to introduce a new variable at the national stage because you don't know how it's going to affect you.
Yeah, Rama on platform 2 chose to utilize that strategy and gave herself her own handoff for that good opener. It was a 2 to 1 lift, but that works.
I personally always hand off myself just because I travel a lot with all the refereeing and all the competitions I go to, so I can't always rely on somebody being there to hand off a bench press for me, especially when I go to a lot of different gyms. But I think it really comes down to personal preference.
We'll see some of the athletes come out and try and explain exactly what they want for their handoff to the spotters, but words only get you so far, so.
Great opening attempt by Ashley Lopez, 90 kilos out of Northeastern University, 3 white lights. It's a hug from her coach there.
And on platform 4 with that 90 kilo mark, that's the 60 kilo weight class, so they're opening with about 1.5 their body weight, which on bench is quite impressive. Very technical bench press from Lynn on platform 2. 3 white lights.
Good lift there by Isabel on platform 4, 3 white lights.
Lillian, excellent effort on platform 1 for that third attempt. You could see she gets it, 3 white lights. You could see her shaking to hold it at the top, waiting for that rack command.
You hear the crowd getting rowdy for Ava Thigpen. 90 kilos, platform 4, opening bench press attempt. Ava's one of those lifters currently seated within the top 10, so let's see how this opening bench press suits her. Speedy opener.
Jessica, another miss at that 60 mark. She got her opener. She's still in the meet. I think she's gonna come out and pull some of those deadlifts with a vengeance. Got Megan on platform 1, who so far is 5 for 5, so definitely looking to continue that trend. She looks to be having a good day.
A huge fight for an opener by Emma on platform 4. I think she might have gotten some downward motion there, 2-1, a no lift. But that's one thing that is a little concerning for an opening attempt, to be of that high of an energy consumption.
And a miss on platform 1.
Smooth third by Celine Ho, 57.5 kilos. Referees say 3 white lights.
And that was excellent as well from Gabrielle on platform 1. Strong through the whole press, consistent tension, and 3 white lights for her. Should be good for Alana on 2. Nice opener.
You saw that last bit of tricep extension at the very top of the lift, but that was no issue as she gets 3 white lights. Massive fight on platform 3. Unfortunately, just a little bit too much for her, for Janisha. We'll see her back on the bench press for deadlifts.
You saw Julia had to fight through that top couple inches right there at the end, but she gets it in 3 white lights, so she makes up for the miss on the second.
We got some information here on platform 4. Emma's opening bench press, which we believe to have had some up and down movement, was overturned by the jury. we see here on LiftingCast, 90 kilos was a good lift for her on the opening bench press attempt.
Incredible fight on one. Should be a good lift, and it is.
Great catch there by the spotters. Platform 3, Haley, unfortunately, no lift. Smooth opener by Nika out of UTSA, platform 4.
And it just gets stuck right off the chest for Erica. Depending on your bench style, you will have a more common point to fail. Some people usually fail right off the chest, some people fail in the middle, some people fail at the top. So it can depend on your style of bench and your muscle weaknesses of the different muscle groups. But if you watch lifters enough, you'll see that where each individual lifter fails tends to be a pattern. Natasha fights on one. A little shaky. I think she tucked her elbows in too far and kind of got offline, and that gave her the up and down, which is the 2 red lights there.
Smooth opening attempt. Platform 4, 3 white lights, and just like that, we're now on to our second bench press attempt on platform 4.
Also taking seconds on platform 2.
A way to break the curse of the missed thirds and comeback for Corrine Anderson. Platform 3, 62.5 kilos is now added to her total.
And we are on to the second flight on platform 1. And bench really is the place where some people shine. There definitely is a realm of bench specialists out there. So a couple of these kids you'll see are maybe further down in the flight on bench than they would otherwise be on squat or deadlift. But having a big bench is useful if you can consistently hit that, because it doesn't matter where you get the numbers on your total. It all adds to the total at the end of the day. Going with 77.5 on platform 4. Camille, she's gonna take a hand off. And Maggie on 3 is gonna retake that miss from her second attempt. She's got an opener, but she wants these extra 2.5 kilos because that could make a difference in final placements and team points at the end of the day. And that was a very easy bench press for Alex on 1. That's exactly what an opener should look like. Almost maybe too easy. That's kind of more of a warm-up than an opener. But she's definitely got room to jump, which is what you want.
That's when you know the peak went well. The peak did its thing.
Yeah. For the casual viewers at home, sometimes athletes will do training blocks where they aren't lifting this heavy every single week. They train up to lift just this heavy, just once at nationals, and then they'll have to retrain up to the heavy lifts for their next competition. That's why powerlifters will often try to space out their competitions by a couple months, just so that they have enough time to rebuild up to those big numbers.
And again, that's also very important when it comes to opener and attempt selection, just because you can't assume that you're going to be the same strength level that you were when you hit your previous best the last time you felt strong. You have to go based off of how you feel on the given day. So a lot of the times, if you're basing off your attempt selection or your openers based on a ideal perfect scenario when your training environment is perfect, that might not be the case here when you have to endure travel, the different food, and just all the different variables that go into competing.
Yeah, and I think one of those biggest variables that you have to account for is a lot of times powerlifters will take their 1 rep maxes before the competition 2.5 weeks out, so they have time to recover from that and then have another week after and then taper down for a week before the competition usually. But sometimes 2.5 weeks out, you could still be a couple kilos over your weight class. So then you have to cut down, and sometimes that cut can really take some strength off that top end, and you have to account for that. So you have to leave yourself room for the strength on the cut and the variables, like you said, of the rest of the competition.
Unfortunately, a no lift here for Jalen on platform 4, and this is just one of those situations where Jalen has only gotten 1 successful attempt, her opening squat, and she is currently one of those lifters forecasted within the top of her weight class. So that is just one of the things that she's currently slotted in top 5 if she makes that opening attempt weight for her third. But again, it's just not one of those situations you want to be in.
No, referees, spectators, and athletes, nobody likes to see a session where there's a bunch of missed lifts or red lights. Everybody in powerlifting especially is kind of a weird sport like that, where you almost don't want your competitor to do well because you want to compete against them on their best day and you want to do your best. So in order for you to do your best, sometimes that means you need your competitor to make a 77 so you can go 80.
Yeah.
But the good thing about this is there have been a lot of missed squats and missed benches today, and what that says to me is I'm optimistic for deadlifts that some of these athletes are going to go in angry and they're going to have some big pulls in a little bit.
And I think one of the best parts about it is understanding the fundamental aspect that this is powerlifting, right? So it's not just you training in the gym. So when it comes down to deadlifts, the stronger lifter isn't necessarily the one that wins. It's the better power lifter, the person who makes their attempts, the person who has the better strategy during all their 9 attempts. So you might come in with the highest nominated total, with the highest forecasted total, but that might not always shape out to be the winner of the session. So it might be the underdog 9 for 9 lifter that comes in and swoops it into the very end on that last pull to push you into that 2nd place or 3rd place position. So that's one of the exciting things about these weight classes that are very deep, where 2.5 kilos makes all the difference.
Indeed. It does not matter what you made in practice. It matters what you made on the platform.
Yeah.
And some of these qualifying totals from some of these athletes are a little bit misleading, honestly, because you have a full over a year to qualify period for Collegiate Nationals. Collegiate Nationals is in April of whatever year it is, and you have from January of the year before. So you have 1.25 of a year to register a qualifying total at some point in that period. So some athletes are more recent, which is more honest because they're going to, like, that's what they just did. They're probably still right at that level. Some athletes are older. Maybe they had a little bit of an injury. They can't quite lift that much anymore. Maybe they've had a really long, good training block and they can lift way more because it's been a year. So you never quite know what you're going to get going into these competitions.
Yeah, and in the case of also the competition environment, sometimes, like, for instance, the Nebraska Collegiate Cup, you might just be doing your meet in the backyard, right? And now you have to travel, take a flight, you have to do all of these different variables to compete. Those circumstances and variables are not the same, so understanding that is very important for shaping out a really good meet day. 3 white lights on platform, 3 for Maggie.
Yeah, and you also have different variables like we talked about with cuts and stuff. The Nebraska Collegiate Cup was held the weekend before Thanksgiving, and this meet is held the weekend after Easter. So major holidays and food and powerlifting to try and make weight, not always a great combination.
Nice attempt for Ava. Side pin 3 white lights, platform 4.
Isabella on platform 3. See, she's got that nice touch point. It was right near her ribs almost, a little bit with that arch. But she gets 3 white lights for that, and it works very well. We saw Lynn on platform 2. That spotter was ready to give a handoff, and she waved him off. She said, no, I'm going to do it myself. So she has full control over how this bench press will go, and she will attempt a 67.5.
It's a good lift on platform 3. Very refined technique for Lynn, platform 2.
Yes, she said, this is my bench, and she got it.
Gina, platform 3, Stanford University, 70 kilos opening bench press attempt. Very easy weight. Kylie, 72.5 kilo opening bench press attempt, platform 3. Very nice arch for Kylie and a high touch point. She gets 3 white lights.
I saw they had to adjust the bench a little bit on platform 3. Maybe an issue with the pins, just making sure they're in the right spot for optimal benching and athlete efficiency. Got 2 lifters on platform 2 who are going to take 75 back-to-back, as determined by their randomized lot number. The lifter with the lower lot number is going first. That is Clementine. She will be followed by Phoebe. 75 is kind of a big deal for powerlifters on bench because it means that you have that full red plate on there in the competition, because the bar and the collars weigh 25, so you want to get that big plate on there and then you want to make that press. It's about 155 pounds, if my math serves correctly. That was excellent for Alexia on 1. It's going to be a good lift there. Faith gives her own hand off, kind of pauses and holds, makes sure she's ready, puts her butt down and gets the command. Very strong press. And that's a good lift on 3. Up next on 3 is Bella Delgado. She's going to open with 80. Last year she did win, so she's looking to make that a repeat, hopefully, from Colorado at Boulder. And over on platform 4, we just saw a successful 15 kilo jump which is a lot. That is an equipped platform, so sometimes they take bigger jumps because they have lower openers just to make sure they get that number in and then can work around with the suit. Sometimes they take a little bit of a bigger jump to closer to what their actual number they want to be is, but it was a good lift, so we'll see what kind of jump is taken for the third. And Hayden got the press on 2. I think she's gonna get an up and down. Yeah, 2-to-1, no lift. Just right off her chest there. It kind of bounced around a little bit in the middle, kind of repressed it. And unfortunately, it's a no lift. But she does have a third left, so she can come out and try that or more again. She did get the lift up, so maybe there's a little bit more. Easy opener on platform 3. Powerlifting is about finding what technique works for you, and you saw that she found a way to kind of, it looked like she had a really short, clean bar path because of her arch and her grip, which is within the rules, so you can try and optimize your lift by finding the leverages that work for you, and the best way to do that is by shortening your bar path, and she did that very well. We talk about that battle that we have on platform 3. We're getting to some of those top athletes again. Jessica Haggerty, she's gonna open with 87.5. And she got that lift. 3 white lights. Got a couple 60s being taken on platform 1. The last one was missed by Alex. She'll retake that on her next attempt. But right now we have Jordan. 60 is a good number in powerlifting because that's right at that 131, which is just under a plate if you're lifting in pounds. Yeah, just got stuck there in the middle. Wavered back and forth. It was a good fight to try and recover, but a little bit too much. And up next we have Devin. Devin missed her 60 on her first attempt, but she is going to retake it, hopefully make it a little bit better. Bench can be scary, kind of like that first squat. That first bench is scary too. You gotta get it in, and sometimes the commands is a little bit too much, but we'll see. Hopefully she can get this here. Strong press at the top. And she does get that. That is 3 white lights for her, and that's an excellent recovery from her first attempt, which she missed, to making that and making it look that good.
So Jalen now locks it out on this third attempt, but I believe I might have seen some up and down movement of the bar, and her referees called her on that, so unfortunately she will not be able to register a total.
Yeah, and you saw on platform 2, we are on our third attempts on platform 2. We are on our 5th athlete. The first athlete scratched her last attempt, and then the next 3 missed. So we're looking to hopefully see somebody over there make their third. It's just a matter of who's going to be the first one to do it. And on that platform 2, that first flight is that women's 60 kilo collegiate class. So that's a tight class. So everyone's going to really want to make these thirds because those extra kilos really do matter. Marissa might be one of those athletes with a good shot because she missed her second, so she can retake that for her third. She should be able to make it.
And again, in instances like what we saw with Jalen, that'll just kind of shape up a little bit of how the team scoring is going to look throughout the weekend, right? I mean, she's a lifter from Midland University, one of the universities that swept last year in Oklahoma City. So with having a lifter not even score points for them, that's just something that's going to put a dent into their qualifying and point scoring for the women's equipped division.
Could be wrong, but I think she is one of the athletes that they brought that's not named to their team scoring roster. So not that you want any of your athletes to bomb out, but that does not affect their team score necessarily because she wasn't going to score anyway. Teams can bring more than 12 athletes. They just can only name their top 12 to that roster. So
no lift over on platform 4, good lift on platform 3.
Addison on 4 for Midland. She's gonna take 95. She made 92.5, which is over 200 pounds on her last attempt, so she's looking to add just a little bit more to that. 70 on platform 3. Moves up well. Gets that rack command. And platform 3, that is a good lift for her. Raya on 2. She's gonna look to take 70 kilos. Gonna look to add that minimum jump from that 67.5 in a category where 2.5 kilos will matter at the end of the day. And Ashley Lopez is gonna retake that 95 on platform 4. Just unfortunately misses there on platform 2. Sometimes when an athlete takes a bigger jump from first to second and then a really, really small jump from second to third, you kind of think that maybe the athlete wasn't quite necessarily expecting to make it. They were just hoping to add a little bit extra to their total, anything that they can get, because that 2.5 is that minimum increase.
And that left tricep was a little lagging for Ashley Lopez, but let's see if, yeah, 3 white lights, and what a recovery there. Picks up an additional 5 kilos on the bench press event.
More 70s on platform 2. It's our 4th athlete in a row who has taken 70. She made that lift. Gets 3 white lights for it. We're gonna have one more. I know the spotters and loaders like it when the weight's the same because they don't have to change it in between presses, but for the athletes it can be kind of nerve-wracking because if the person before you makes it, you want to too.
Yeah. You got a big jump on platform 3, 10 kilos for Maggie. 75 kilo second attempt.
She's got that red on there. It's a little quick with that press there. I don't think we made the command.
Gets 1 white light from it, but I believe she did jump that press command. It looked quite fast.
Sometimes when athletes jump a command, it might end up being a 2-to-1 call just because, like we've been talking about all day, it's loud out there. Sometimes the referees can't even hear each other. So as per the rule book, if the referee's not sure that an infraction occurred, they're supposed to err in favor of the lifter.
Again, benefit of the doubt does go to the lifter always, and should always be the case. Gina, Stanford University, 75 kilos as well. Talking about those back-to-back second attempts.
A little bit one arm at a time on platform 3, but they both get there.
And that's a good lift. Kylie taking a 7.5 kilo jump out of UTSA. 77.5 kilos now loaded on the bar.
It's a big bench. 60 kilo lifter. She's almost at 110. That's almost twice her body weight.
Just kind of speaking a little bit more about these third attempt bench presses on platform 4. For ladies and gentlemen, if you guys are watching from home, this is more than the equivalent of 2 commercial gym plates these ladies are bench pressing. So, wow, what an attempt here for Annabelle. Unfortunately, just loses it at the top. But, I mean, these ladies are bench pressing over 2 plates. So that is, just to hold it over your on your hands is a big feat on its own. Great attempt for Kylie on platform 3, 3 white lights.
All right, for our final bench attempts for this first flight on platform 2, we've got 2 athletes. They're both going to take 80 kilos. And we have a good lift on platform 1, where we are starting our third attempts for that first flight. Sorry, for that second flight. She fought off the chest, but unfortunately, Clementine did not make that lift. But Haley does an excellent job to get that 80. Good second attempt, 3 white lights for her. A 110 for Amelie on platform 4. It's a big bench.
Wow, what speed on that third attempt bench press. 3 white lights.
You love to see lifts like that where they just make it and it's good.
And that's not the heaviest attempt we have for this session. We have 115 kilos.
Gets that blue plate loaded on the outside there.
That's some serious weight, over almost just shy of 2 times body weight. Anika Gonzalez out of UTSA. Again, fighting within that top 3. The spread between these equipped ladies is marginally thin.
And on platform 2, we move to the second flight of lifters. They're going to take their openers. Maria missed her squats, so we're hoping that she can make a couple bench presses, hopefully still make the best out of the rest of this day.
Again, it's a good tell sign for lifters to come back even after bombing out, to still complete bench press and deadlift. I mean, you made it the trip, you already made it the training, so just come out and put on the best performance you can. It's really about how you finish, not how you start. Platform 4, Anika Gonzalez. Referees say 3 white lights, and that is a very easy 115 kilos to close out platform 4's bench press attempt. So our spotters and loaders will tear down the rack and set it up so that way in 10 minutes after the intermission, we will kick off the deadlift portion.
Yeah, and like you said, sometimes it can be hard for the athletes to come out after they miss all of their attempts. Sometimes another thing that you don't always notice right away is it can be hard for the athletes to come out and compete after they've missed weight.
Yeah.
Because just like after you miss all 3 attempts on a squat or a bench press and you're out of the competition, if you miss weight, you're also out of the competition. We do have a couple guest lifters in this session. It happens. It's hard to make weight sometimes, especially like we talked about with travel and all that going on. So props to them for sucking it up and getting out there and competing and still trying their best to represent their school in a positive light and put some new PRs on the platform regardless.
And again, as a competitor, that's another aspect you have to master as well. Not just the lifting part, not just being strong, but also being able to work in that maintenance, right? The nutrition, all of that goes into being a good power lifter. Jessica Haggerty, 92.5 kilos, second attempt bench press attempt.
Adding another 2.5 for her third attempt on platform 1. Gonna take 65 for Catherine. Gonna correct that bar position. It's a little crooked. There we go. Should be good to go now. That was a strong press for Paige on 2. Very nicely done. And she's rewarded with 3 white lights, very deserved.
We got a retake. Platform 3, Ashley Hernandez, 57.5 kilos. Smooth attempt.
Very even pressing. Good job moving the arms together at the same time there. 3 white lights. And a good recovery from missing that second.
And that's one thing that a lot of people don't talk about as much is having that patience in the bench press event. We talk about patience coming out of the hole in the squat. We talk about patience off the floor on deadlifts. But patience when it comes to pressing, making sure that bar stays even, allows you to stay balanced and avoiding that one elbow from caving in and you losing that entire lift.
Yeah, and sometimes you talk about muscular imbalance like it's an uncommon thing or a rarity, but in bench press, it's not. Most everybody, few rare exceptions, has a dominant hand, and that arm is going to be stronger and it's going to want to go up easier, so you kind of have to be patient on your stronger side so that your weak side doesn't get stuck. Carla on platform 1 definitely has a little bit of that bulldog grip with her hands where she angles it out just to get a better angle on the press. Didn't work for her that time, but it did on her other 2 lifts, so got a good momentum going, and we'll bring that into the deadlifts. A little tight in the middle for Bala, but makes it, gets 3 white lights. Does a good job of maintaining when she could have panicked in the middle when it started to get a little crooked. And a good opener for Cameron.
Very close grip as well. It's one of the differences too. I mean, we saw that bench press on platform 2, very close grip. Heavy emphasis on the triceps versus here on platform 3, a very wide max grip bench press by Valerie, who's going to utilize a lot more of her chest.
Oh my gosh.
Talking about using her chest, I mean, way to stick with that bar. 70 kilos, 2-to-1, good lift.
In my opinion, bench press is one of the hardest lifts to fight through. It's really easy to just fail and fail wrong. On squat, you get a little off-centered. You're using your leg muscles, are usually a little bigger. It's easier to make a correction because you're right on line. But bench press with that angle we were talking about earlier can be easy to lose. So when you get off-centered or off-crooked, or you hit a sticking point on bench and you have to fight through it, it can be tough, especially because when you brace on bench, you're usually arching your back instead of having like a more neutral position where it can be hard to maintain that position through a struggle.
And it boils down to the technicality and the requirements when it comes to executing a bench press attempt. We have the most points of contact. We have literally full body engagement from your feet driving on your legs on the platform, your butt, your arch, your shoulders, your hand placement, elbows, everything is coming into play. So I mean, when one of those positioning elements is off, it's really difficult to come back from that. It's not one of those, you just grind it and muscle it up. It's all about just technical precision and execution.
Yeah, and you might not think about it this way, but bench is a full body lift, especially in powerlifting specific bench, because all of these athletes, they are using their legs, they are using their abs to hold their position. That's why it's one of the compound lifts. And that's a good third attempt for Isabella. Makes it look easy. 3 white lights for her.
We got a retake, platform 3, Olivia taking 75 kilos.
Still on openers on platform 2. A lot of ladies choosing to open at 80. We have 5 people opening at 80. And that just shows how tight of a race that class is. That shows that 4th, 5th medal position right there it's going to be brutal. Everybody has the same openers. They're going to take probably pretty similar jumps too. So it comes down to who can take the jump and make it.
And not only is the seating so close to each other, so that way they're placed in the same flight, but I mean, the breakdown of each of the lifts, I mean, it's going to be really close. I mean, to open up with 80, these ladies are going to have very similar attempt selections, probably going 5 kilos, then 2. That's a typical strategy, 2 and 2, you know. It's one thing that we might see a lot of these ladies starting and ending in the same position. Maggie retaking 75 kilos. Again, jumped that press command after jumping 10 kilos from the opener and opted to go up 2.5 kilos to 77.5. So either you add 12.5 kilos to your total or you fall back down to 65 kilos on your opener.
Yeah, and I think she started to jump the press command again and remembered that she had to wait for it. Kind of got herself stuck at the bottom because of that. When you're powerlifting, you cannot second guess yourself on a movement like that because you will mess up the lift.
And it just works against you, right? You try to time that press command, or you try to press a little bit before that command, and then that referee holds you even longer because then that bar is not motionless anymore. Kylie looking to go 3 for 3 in the bench press event. 80 kilos on the bar now.
There's definitely an element of bench press that's in skill and tactical in trying to anticipate the press command there, but it can go really wrong.
Fortunately, no lift for Kylie there. Still walks away with 77.5 kilos, so just misses out on 2.5 kilos to your total. But let's see how valuable those 2.5 are down the road as we get into deadlifts. One of the things I like to say is 2.5 kilos more that you bench press is 2.5 kilos less that you have to deadlift, especially with a division this close. Jockeying for position, you're gonna wanna need every single kilo possible.
Sylvia's gonna feel good on 1 because she just made 100 kilos. Big number for powerlifters, getting to triple digits. Taylor, platform 1. Easy opener, very technical, smooth, quick stop in the middle there to get that press command right away. And gets 3 white lights for that.
We got some of the heavy hitters now on platform 2. Madison Rock opening up with 90 kilo bench press, just shy of 200 pounds.
Doesn't quite like her positioning, is smooth and mature as a lifter to kind of stop, reset, tells the lift-off person to wait a second for her to fix her positioning. That was easy.
Beautiful attempt, and that's one of the more skillful elements too of utilizing and exhausting your entire 60-second clock. A lot of times lifters think that 60 seconds is not a lot of time to lift, but you have a full minute to set up, unrack the bar, and get that start command. So 60 seconds is quite a lot of time. So if you don't like your setup, you have enough time to reset up, and as long as you're not wasting too much energy, find that ideal position so you can execute your lift.
Yeah, and lifters can sometimes, although rare, like choose to re-rack the bar even after they get their hand off, as long as they haven't gotten that start command yet from that referee. And usually if the lifter feels they're far enough out of position where they don't like their position, then they need to reset. They haven't gotten the start command, so it's good for them to be able to recognize that and take that time to reset. Moves a little slow for an opener, but we get it on platform 2. 95 was made for Brianna. You can kind of tell that bench is probably her specialty. She moves to the end of the flight with that.
Bella Delgado, University of Colorado Boulder, 87.5 kilos with an opportunity to go 6 for 6. Smooth third attempt for Bella, platform 3.
Julie, 97.5.
That is so easy of an attempt. 3 white lights.
Maria's gonna add 5 to that opener. She's gonna take 70. 2-1 on platform 3 for Jessica. Or sorry, the lifter before her.
That was Layla, yeah.
For Layla.
90 kilos is successful for her. And now Jessica's in a tough spot here. So she lost a little bit of ground on that squat, doing some damage control after missing the opener. So she needs this lift if she wants to continue being within striking distance of Bella Delgado's total. Bella currently leads her by 17.5 kilos if Jessica's successful with this, but if she's unsuccessful, she falls back down an additional 5 kilos. So this is a critical third attempt lift for Jessica, platform 3.
Fight in the middle. Come on.
Oh my goodness, Jessica just loses it there. Unfortunately, I mean, talk about how close that lift is for Jessica. No lift. It's probably a misclick there.
It happens.
Been there, done that. I think we all have at one point.
Yeah, and saw the referee there walk past the camera. I wonder if he went to tell them that he misclicked.
Yeah.
Not that it matters. It was recorded as a no lift anyway.
Talk about the speed on platform 4. We are already onto our first deadlift attempt. Good lift there for Corrine Anderson, 105 kilos.
Starting those seconds on platform 2 still.
Once all of our ladies on platform 4 have successfully completed a opening deadlift attempt, that'll solidify their total and draw up a better picture as to how the forecasted placings are going to be shaping up. Again, as a reminder, all of our ladies in this flight on platform 4 are in our 56 equipped women's division. So as we round out that first attempt, we'll go over their standings and see how this storyline is shaping up.
Yeah, and this is a really short flight in platform 4. There's only 9 lifters. Flight could be up to 15, so if you take 6 minutes off of every flight at minimum, because it takes some time to load that attempt, that's why platform 4 has moved so far ahead. They just have less lifters on that platform.
And with the efficient spotting and loading crews, I mean, you really have less than a minute per lifter. I mean, the turnaround for some of these lifters is incredible. A very tough opener on platform 4, Siriana Serrano, Texas A&M University. 3 white lights, but you just wonder how much more she's got in the tank after the opening attempt.
Yeah, and you talk about efficiency in spotting, loading crews, and how important it is. If you have a full platform with 30 lifters on it, and the spotting and loading crew can save 10 seconds per lift, for a 30 lifter platform, that saves 45 minutes.
Wow.
If you do the math. when we spot and load and referee back in South Dakota, there's one referee there who always says if you can save 5 seconds, it saves you so much time because it adds up because there's so many attempts taken.
Smooth opening attempt. Lexi Steinman, 150 kilos.
We're about 2.5 minutes out from starting those deadlifts on platform 1 as well, with some more of those 56s and that second flight of 60s.
And again, our final opening deadlift attempt, Nicola Vallejos out of Midland University, 150 kilos as well. Easy opening attempt.
Yeah, sometimes when you see easy opening attempts, it gets you excited because you just wonder, what are they going to do next? Because on deadlift, you can take bigger jumps than you do on squat or bench because you're literally just pulling. So it leaves a lot of room and time for there to be jumps made at the end to allow you to pull for placing. Emily fights a little bit through that 82.5 on her second. Should be a good lift. If I were her coach, I'd recommend adding just the 2.5 to that. Probably moves a little slow, and that third one's going to be slower if it gets heavier, but never know. Maybe it's a little bit of a misgroove. Maybe there's more.
So as we're starting to see the shape up on the podium for our platform 4 ladies, 56 kilo equipped women, we have a pretty evident leader here, Lexi Steinman out of Louisiana Tech University with a forecasted 442.5 kilo total. She's currently in the lead by over 35 kilos, so I don't suspect that top position be threatened. But however, we do have a pretty interesting battle for that third place position. Third through fifth is only separated by 15 kilos. And if we're talking about the equipped and deadlift specifically, that's about an attempt or two that can really shape up these placings. So again, Nicola is going to be looking to threaten Lydia for that second place position while also defending that bronze from Bianca and Maya, who are currently trailing in 4th and 5th respectively. Again, 15 kilo jump for Lydia, platform 4.
It's almost maybe a little bit too light at the top. We kind of...
Yeah, she bobbled at the top, got called up and down. So again, that just kind of swings the door open. So now if Nicola hits her second attempt deadlift, she'll swoop in and be forecasted in that second place position by over 2.5 kilos.
Yeah, so on the deadlift, if the last lifter just has to make that decision about whether she's going to add to that and pull for some placement in the end. You might come and see some attempt changes on that flight as she kind of decides whether she wants to just safely retake that and get the third, or if she wants to add a little bit more and pull for that placement. She definitely had more because she made that to the top. It was just a tech call, so... Good lift for platform 4.
I think the strategy might be retaking it, pull back into the lead, and then just bank on the opposition missing so they don't swoop in and steal your medal.
Yeah.
Common strategy there, but again, a risky one because if they make it, now you can't even contest or you can't defend your position.
Smooth lift on platform 2. Efficient use of that short range of motion. 3 white lights.
Cynthia goes up 5 kilos after a pretty tough opening attempt of 145. Yeah, and she unable to get it off the ground, so Looks like her meet might end there if she's not able to make any adjustments, but 150 looked like about a limit lift there, unable to get it off the ground.
Yeah, and on platform 1, they're loading those first attempts deadlifts. We have started. We got our first athlete in. Shelby was successful. That's a good lift on platform 4. Nice and smooth throughout the whole lift. Consistent pull.
What a bench grind. Just a little too much for her.
Yeah, she did a good job of trying to be patient, keeping those arms together, but just a little too heavy.
Critical lift here, platform 4.
On 2, we missed the first one. We went up 7.5 kilos. We'll see if that high-risk decision pays off or not. Can only hope it does.
And so with this lift, Nikela provisionally has moved herself into second place. Lexi Steinman up next, your leader, whose first place gold medal isn't looking to get threatened this session.
Amy getting the tech call at the top of that deadlift. She kind of started to jump that down command a little bit bobble at the top, just depending on how the referees differently interpret it. But they are all looking at that same part of the lift right at the top.
In a tough situation, Karen is in right now. Went up 7.5 kilos and missed it again. So just a very, very tough situation to be in.
Hitting that 90 on platform 2, that's that 1.5 times the body weight that we mentioned for these raw lifters. That's a pretty impressive bench press. Third attempt deadlifts on platform 4. Bailey taking 130. Has to really pull through that top, but does a good job of being patient. Good lift, 3 white lights.
As we move into third attempt deadlifts on platform 4, we have a 7.5 kilo spread between second all the way down to fourth. So again, those 3 ladies are going to be really battling it out to seeing how the podium is going to be shaped up for the 56 equipped.
It's kind of starting to shape out where it looks like the medals are pretty much locked in. It's just a matter of what color medal you're going to get and how many points you're going to secure for your team. Because that 5th to 6th place differential right now is 22.5 kilos, so possible, but unlikely.
We got one of our first lifters up now. So Lydia is electing to retake that 150, just trying to secure those 15 kilos to her total. Again, remember, in that second attempt, she had a bit of a bobble at the top, so she's looking to secure that. That'll put her provisionally into second place, but she needs to hit this lift or she'll fall all the way back down to 5th. Lydia is successful with it, and like that, she locks in at least a podium finish, currently forecasted in second place. However, we still have 3 more lifters to go that are threatening that spot.
And she takes a moment to just kind of celebrate that last lift, making it through nationals, setting herself up well for a nice medal, and she can sit and wait and see what her opponents can do.
Again, watching from the stands as these lifters finish out their meets.
More good openers on platform 1. Good for Erica.
Fortunately, no lift for Siriana on platform 4. Walks away with 145 kilos.
Yeah, she was patient at the top, but I think when she hit her knees, she leans a little bit too far forward. And when you're sumo deadlifting, it's hard to recover once you start to get too far forwards.
We got Bianca up next out of Midland University, not looking to threaten Nikela's third bronze medal position, just looking to extend her lead here in the 4th place position, trying to fend off Maya, who's up next to go.
Misses that lift. She'll have to wait and see if that 4th place holds up. That'll be determined on this next poll. Maya walks up to take 165 to pull from 5th to 4th, looking to move up a spot.
Again, that miss from Bianca really opened up that door for Maya to swing in and move positions, scoring some valuable points for UTA.
And she misses that too, but she still will get a medal. She finishes in 5th place. It's mighty commendable.
Again, good points there still scored for UTA. Walking away with the medal is always good, but now we have a pull for 2nd place. Nikela out of Midland University, 172.5 loaded on the bar, 12.5 kilos. Looking to jump from a 395 to a 407.5 kilo total, only winning by body weight. Nikela weighed in lighter, so all she has to do is tie Lydia, and she'll move and snag her bronze for a silver. Fortunately, that is not coming up. She still walks away with the bronze medal and scores some valuable points for Midland University. So 3rd place at Collegiate Nationals is still not anything to be ashamed of.
3rd place at Collegiate Nationals is All-American.
Yeah.
Walks away with a pretty new patch for that. All right, and our last lifter on platform 4 is Lexi Steinman. She has already won. Her total is big enough. She is the last lifter. She cannot be passed. She currently has a 442.5. If she makes this, she will move to 455.
Again, just extending her lead and looking to finish out 8 for 9 on the day. And your Collegiate National Champion, Lexi Steinman, 175. Referees say 2-1, good lift. And Lexi Steinman is your 56th Women's Equipped Collegiate National Champion.
And platform 4 will move to openers for that 2nd flight, which is those 60-kilo lifters. Haley is going to take her opener. It's going to be 120.
Good attempt for Haley.
Should be a good bench for Emma. Looked nice and clean. Way to make that 3rd. Good third attempt for Paige. Platform 2.
Great celebration there as well.
Luisa, good opener, almost 300 pounds. And Sarah is gonna retake that 85 for her third attempt. Kaylee, so far, 5 for 5 on her day. Can she make her third bench press attempt? She's looking to do 85. She's forecasted 8th, so that top 10 in that 60 kilo class, she's got to make this. And that's strong. That's a good third attempt. Maybe could have done 87, but happy to take the 85 with 3 white lights.
Smooth opener. Platform 4, Brianna Jones.
It's 120, not a problem for Julia on 1. And on platform 4, as you watch some more of these equipped lifters do their deadlifts, you'll kind of notice most of them squat more than they deadlift. They do wear a deadlift suit in equipped lifting. Some lifters, not all, it's not required, but it helps, so why not? But that deadlift suit is not as efficient in helping the lifter with the deadlift as the squat suit. So this deadlift in the equipped lifting session is more of almost a raw strength type lift.
Yeah, that's one of the things where deadlift is one of the lifts where you really can't cheat, right? It's either you get the weight up or you can't. There's a lot of different ways you can maneuver knee wraps, bench press shirts, and work it to your advantage. But deadlift, that's pure strength.
We said earlier, some lifters in equipped lifting, they have a minimum that they can do on squat or bench where they can either get the squat to depth or get the bench to touch their chest. That's not the same for deadlifting. They can take their deadlift suit and pull a 75. On that 150 opener on platform 4. Blue card, maybe a little bobble at the lockout. to take 87.5. Platform 2. Missed there on platform 4 on the opener. Didn't see it, so I'm not sure why.
Good finish there, platform 2, Taylor.
Good job being patient at the top. All right, platform 2. Up next is Karen. She took 80. She missed it. She moved up to 87. She missed that. She is staying at 87. She needs to make this lift to stay in the competition. She's lifting for Rutgers.
Again, had a technical miss on bench press for the opening attempt. Missed the second one on strength, so she's forced to retake this. Again,
if she makes this, she moves into 10th place.
Again, within the top 10, she placed 10th last year at Nationals. Her best in competition is 82.5 kilos, so this is within striking distance of things she's within range and capable of doing. So let's see Karen as she handles 87.5.
She gets it up.
Was her downward movement, referees?
In the middle.
Oh my gosh, the suspense, platform 2. 3 white lights. That is a good lift for Karen.
Yes, she survives. She's still forecasted now in 10th place. She gets to keep on competing in the rankings of the competition.
I think that surprised both of us too, to see those 3 white lights. I anticipated to see a blue card thrown in there, but
yeah, probably from at least one referee, but
again, they have a better vantage point than us. We're just viewing it on screen just like you guys on the live stream.
retaking 9B, Anne Marie for Texas A&M. A lot of powerlifters coming out of or competing for Texas. Been many schools down there. Very incredible fight there. Slow in the middle, almost stopped, but never did. Good consistent motion through the top. 2-to-1, good lift. Taylor gonna take 92.5. This equals her comp best. She's hoping to match that. She jumped 5, jumping 2.5. Maybe that 90 felt a little slow, and she wants to take what she can get because this is a tight battle. These 2.5 kilos will matter at the end of the day. She needs this lift. And she gets that. That is good for Taylor. Should be. Yes, 3 white lights. Happy. See there, handled by Desi Cooney, coach for Outlier and Lincoln. Stepping in for Concordia head coach, Freddie Miles, who's in Salt Lake City right now for weightlifting nationals. So the Concordia lifters kind of
spread out,
spread thin, but putting up a show despite the effort. Dax Davis medaled this morning for them.
Very close grip position for Jessica on platform 1, but she gets, oh, unfortunately, a no lift for lockout on platform 1, indicated by those red cards. Those shoulders were not back, her knees were not locked. So either one of those two. Fortunately, no lift for for Allison on platform 3.
No lift as well on platform 2. Madison Rock is looking to take 100. Currently, Her subtotal is 274. Taylor's is 267. So she's not even 7.5 kilos above Taylor right now, so she needs this lift. Otherwise, that deadlift can be a hit or miss if she makes it or does not.
Again, every kilo is going to matter in a weight class this tight. 60-kilo women. Madison Rock taking her time, setting up for the bench press. Platform 2, 100 kilos, 220 pounds. Oh, and she blows it up. That was an easy third attempt. Referees say...
Suspense.
2-1.
Yeah, gets that yellow card. I'm guessing maybe that side judge thought she was a little bit quick with the press, but you know who knows best whether it was followed the commands or not was the head judge, and the head judge said it was good, so.
And a near two-time bodyweight bench press for Julie Zhang. Platform 2, closing out the bench press session, 242 pounds. From a near bomb out in the squats to now coming back and looking to move herself into that top 5. Currently in 3rd, forecasted 5th. Julie Zhang out of the University of Wisconsin-Madison.
She gets the lift. Good job after that initial hold of it where you could kind of see her wrists were shaking, bobbling a little bit. You could tell it was definitely heavy for her just holding it, but she made the actual press look like nothing.
Very, very good way to come back, and an awesome third attempt on platform 3 by Isabella, 135 kilos. She goes 9 for 9, so what an incredible day for her.
And that's the last bench press on platform 2. They'll take a break, and then they will move to deadlifts. On 32.5, third attempt, Erica. Yes, very nice. And 3 white lights for her.
Let's see what Sarah can do, 137.5. Final deadlift attempt. Great grind there. Gets that down command, and the referees say 3 white lights, good lift.
Getting that 300-pound deadlift. And on platform 1, we have moved into that second flight. They're taking their openers now. Carla. We're going to pull 112.
Uneven lockout there for Maria. Gets a down signal. I don't think that was quite locked out. Our referees say 3 white lights. Wow. That was a very uneven lockout for Maria on platform 3, but she gets 3 white lights and closes out her deadlift session 3 for 3 with a 300-pound deadlift.
Yeah, and lifters can have an uneven lockout as long as they don't have that up and down during the lift or at the lockout. It's just kind of hard to do that.
Yeah. I guess with both arms extended down, you really have to make it a bit difficult and challenging on yourself to have that bar be lopsided.
Sometimes somebody has a shoulder that'll drop a little bit further than another.
Carla Khan taking a 15-kilo jump, 140 kilos, 140, looking to crack into that 300-pound mark. 308 pounds for Carla, gets a down signal. Yeah, and that is a no lift. She intentionally slammed the bar on that last lift, so that is not allowed. So unfortunately, will be a 3 red lights and a no lift. I'm glad all 3 referees caught that because I think that was one of the more egregious slamming of the bar that I've seen.
Yeah, sometimes as a referee, it can be hard to call that slamming of the bar because the bar weighs a couple 100 pounds. It's going to go down pretty hard even if you try to set it down gently. But the lifters have to control it. They have to set it down. They have to maintain contact until they're way down, and they are not allowed to throw or slam the bar. But I think that was a pretty clear decision there.
Our final second attempt deadlift, Anika Gonzalez, 192.5 kilos, 424 pounds.
Ashley lost some grip at the top there, I think. Platform 3, unfortunately, will not get that lift.
Wow, and so Anika did not get that second attempt deadlift, so that just opens up the door for some of these other lifters. I mean, this 60-kilo equipped women's division is incredibly stacked. We see a spread between first place all the way down to fourth being spread by only about 15 kilos, in that podium position really being spread by just about a few 5 kilos or so. So again, we're going to really tune in on platform 4 as they round out their entire session, and the 60-kilo women are finalizing the meet.
Yeah, not a lot of athletes in this session on flight 4, and these first couple ones that are pulling to move up a spot. It looks like a lot of them are currently placed and forecasted in the same spot. Some pretty clear cuts, but I expect some attempt selections to try and change that, especially if anybody misses a lift and some more ranges become more reachable. Everybody successful so far on platform 1 in this flight with their openers. About 2/3 of the way through the flight. I think the easiest lift to make is your deadlift opener. There's usually less technical calls on deadlift, and there's less commands to follow, so. Also because you take bigger jumps on deadlift, so sometimes that means your opener is a lower percentage than it might be on squat or bench. You see on the board right now, they had the current leaders for that 60-kilo division. That will change. We have another flight, the top flight left to go. And unfortunately, Opener miss there for Charu. 2-1. Camille, platform 4, currently in 11th. If she makes this, she will still be in 11th.
Again, we hear the crowd raging for her as she locks out that deadlift. 145 kilos. Camille gets 3 white lights. Olivia Tack, 132.5 kilos on the opening for deadlift. We got Olivia Jokic up next, 160 kilos out of the University of Houston.
All right, opener's done on platform 1. We'll move to second attempts. That was a good lift for Emma.
And again, for those lifters that are successful, oh, and unfortunately just a slip up there on platform 4. Very thankful for our spotters that were there to be able to catch her. Hopefully she is safe and well. As we were saying, as soon as a lifter is successful with an opening deadlift attempt or any deadlift attempt, that solidifies their total and kind of locks them into a position, knowing that they're not at risk of bombing out, assuming that they have completed at least 1 successful bench press and 1 successful squat.
Ashley got a no lift on 3 blue. That's going to be at the top. She just bobbled and leaned forward, and it made that bar go down a little bit. Saw that one ref didn't even think she blocked out fully.
Great strategy there for Emma out of Texas A&M. Pulled 5 kilos to extend her lead in that 5th place position, trying to fend off both Brienne and Addison, who are within striking distance, only separated by about 7.5 kilos. We have Addison Fraser looking to score a 7th place position all the way up to 6th, 3 white lights, and she has moved herself into 6th place position. But now we have Brianne Jones out of Northwestern State University of Louisiana looking to move from 7th place and knock Emma out of the podium from 5th to 6th place. So Brianne is looking to move herself to a medal now, 167.5.
If she can make this, she walks away with some hardware, some points for her team. Pulls. Come on.
Just locks up there at a little bit past the knees, so she walks away in 7th place, and Emma solidifies herself in that 5th place position. But we got our top 4 ladies left to go on platform 4. The first to strike, Isabella Resendez, 180 kilos out of Texas A&M University.
And the last 2 lifters in this flight on platform 4 are looking to surpass each other. They're separated in total by just 5 kilos.
And this is exciting. Our first of the 4, Isabella, looking to pull herself from 3rd into 1st place position provisionally.
That's a good
And
pull.
just like that, Isabella has moved herself into 1st place for the time being. We still have 3 more ladies left to go in this platform, but as it stands, Isabella is your national champion.
As she moves into 1st place on body weight, with the total to beat being 495. Annika has that, but weighed in heavier, so she's currently in 2nd.
Ashley, despite being a good deadlifter and able to hang out with the top dogs, she's sitting a little bit behind on the total, not having the best bench press day as she would have liked. So she's only extending her position in 4th place. And with this missed attempt, she still remains in 4th place, so able to score some good points for Northeastern University.
And Ashley Lopez, collegiate national medalist, with that 4th place as well. Up next, Amelie. She's gonna pull 190. If she makes this, she moves provisionally into first with a 497.5, beating that 495 total needed.
That's just a little too much for her on the day. Still walks away with a podium finish, 3rd place bronze.
All-American. And our last lifter, Annika Gonzalez, currently in 2nd.
Again, nothing to lose here. She was your leader all the way up until this deadlift. So if she is not successful with this, she still remains in that silver medal position, but she is pulling for first. That is what she came here for. UTSA wants a gold. Annika Gonzalez can do that for her if she pulls this last deadlift. 192.5, 424 pounds.
Can she walk away as collegiate national champion? Slow, no, not quite there.
Still walks away your silver medalist, All-American.
And still with 9 points for her team, UTSA.
And again, what a crazy shape up there. I mean, 1st and 2nd are tied on total, 495, 495, and only separated by about a kilo of body weight. I mean, that is an incredible margin to separate the winners, especially at a collegiate national championship.
And that, with that lift, our platform 4 did conclude. We have platforms 1, 2, and 3 still all lifting. Everybody's on deadlift. We are pulling for medals.
So we have wrapped up the equip session for all the platforms this session. So we now have platforms 1, 2, and 3 battling it out for our 60 kilo and our 56 kilo national championship. Jessica Haggerty, 160 on her opening deadlift, 3 white lights.
Good opener. Last opener on platform 3, Bella Delgado. Your projected leader after this. Easy money.
Yeah, 3 white lights, platform 3. That's a good lift, platform 3. We had a missed opener attempt for Ashley Hernandez on 3, is retaking that weight. Again, got called for downward movement of the bar. Looks to be a good lift. Let's see what the referees say. 2-1, good lift. Just got one red card on the right-hand side for a soft lockout. Smooth opener for Phoebe on platform 2.
Yeah, she's got a lot of room to go up there for sure. Valerie, 12.5 kilo jump to 140. Pulls herself into 9th place for now. Forecasted 10th. She'll look to improve that with her next lift.
And now that we have wrapped up the equipped side and we are onto the raw, which have more flights of these lifters, consisting of these lifters, the 56 women and 60. It's going to be interesting to see how the strategies are going to shape up, especially because, for instance, on platforms 1 and 2, we have lifters of the same division competing against each other. So not only are you going to have to manage the lifters on screen on LiftingCast for the lifters on your platform, but you're going to have to cross-check the lifters to see how they're doing on the other platform and seeing how your standings are affecting theirs. So that's one of the interesting things that doesn't always happen in a multi-platform competition, but does happen quite often at Collegiate Nationals, where you're having to not only track the numbers of the competitors on your platform, but the one next to you.
Yeah, Sylvia Pierce on platform 1, flight 2 is forecasted 8th. So top 10 potential performance for a lifter who by qualifying total did not make that top session. That's an insane improvement from that qualifying total.
Again, it puts her at a disadvantage, though, because she is lifting in that earlier seed, so she will finish out her meet, and whatever place she's in, she will only be able to watch from the stands as the lifters are coming in and trying to contest and beat that placing that she just posted up.
Yeah, and you can always try to beat people in your session, but you never quite know what they're going to pull. But when somebody is in the flight before you, you know exactly what you have to hit. So it's not necessarily a guessing game on your second. If you know you have to hit an attempt for your third to pass somebody, you can split the difference for your second attempt.
That was a great second attempt for Kylie, platform 2, 3, 147.5. Kayla ready, stays ready at 147.5.
Easy 137 on platform 2.
Smooth second attempt for Kayla, 3 white lights.
Haley coming up on platform 3. This would give her a 372.5 total. That would put her for now into 5th place. That's going to be a battle probably between her and Isabella Cerza. She can make this, she can put some pressure on other lifters. That's good. Clean lockout at the top. 3 white lights. She is in 5th for now. Catherine has to fight through a sticking point at the top. She locked it out though. 3 white lights, and she gets the first successful third attempt of her flight. Hopefully we can continue that momentum for Kylie.
That's a no lift, platform 3. Bit of a long hold on platform 2 and for that down command. She gets 3 white lights.
Kylie with the successful third attempt.
And Bala able to take 12.5 kilos added to her total. Nice celebration there as she gets 3 white lights for her second attempt deadlift.
Margaret coming up on 3, currently 12th, forecasted 10th. All these lifters really looking to get into the top 10. That's a big deal, huge accomplishment, especially at that national level meet that we're at. Makes the second, has to fight for it a little bit, but it's good.
I mean, in the 56 kilo division, with talking about over 40 girls lifting in this division alone in the raw section, I mean, placing top 10th is an incredible feat. I mean, you have to beat 30 different girls in order to manage that placing.
Especially if you also think about, there's a lot of lifters that did not qualify for collegiate nationals. So to get here and then to beat that many people that got here, it's tough. Alex fought at the top for that, and she gets it. She's excited, deservedly so.
Fierce second attempt by Isabella. 3 white lights as she picks up an additional 10 kilos to her total.
Sophie looking for 140 for her third. Small unevenness at the top, but that, my friend, is unfortunately a no lift. Looks like a call on the not completely finishing that lockout. Probably more visible from the side than our angle.
Very hard off the floor, but Alana is able to speed up as soon as she gets past those knees. She gets 3 white lights. Now Jessica Haggerty looking to pick up some ground, taking a 12.5 kilo jump, second attempt deadlift. So Jessica's in one of those unique spots where she is potentially threatening Bella's first place position, but she's also having to watch her back as Gina and among some of these other girls are looking to take her position in that second place silver medal position. So I mean, it's a tough situation for the coaching staff, having to watch yourself from both ends.
The bar is loaded for Bella Delgado. National record attempt, 195.5.
Chips on the bar. This puts her in a significant advantage as she has now a chip advantage, knowing that in order for people to exceed her, they have to go 2.5 kilos higher than what she has.
She's just chipping that national record. Currently it's 195.5, set in 2024. And that is an easy national record for Bella. 3 white lights, and I cannot wait to see what she loads on that for her third.
And it's convincingly looking like she's going to be your 2-time national champion in the 56 kilo division. From starting off her first CNATs, placing 18th, and then climbing all the way up to first only in 1 year, and now coming back to become a 2-time national champion. That is some very remarkable progress shown here by the coaching staff.
And third attempts will begin for platform 3. Final pulls to determine your 56 kilo raw national medalists. Third attempts as well on platform 1. We have a good lift there from Devin. Claps and skips away. We have 3 lifters left on platform 1. Elena on 2. That should be good. And Ashley Hernandez is up next on platform 3. Plus 7.5 kilos from her second attempt. She did miss the first one, but she made the second, so she's safe in the standings. She's just pulling to move up a spot. 145 kilos.
Again, it really is a dogfight in these weight classes, so being able to move up from 15 to 14 is a feat on its own. So Ashley gets that down command, and let's see what the referees say. 2-1, unfortunately a no lift. I think the left referee might have called for potentially supporting on the thighs or hitching, and then not quite sure what that center referee called her on, but that'll be a no lift. Way to stick with it here. Oh! Platform 1, Sophia just misses it on grip. Still waves the crowd and shows good sportsmanship there. So what a good way to still end it there with a smile on your face. Faith Smith, 150 kilos load on the bar. Platform 3 gets the down command. That's a good lift there. And again, ladies and gentlemen, we're inching closer to the finale here of Platform 3 deadlifts as our ladies look to close out the 56 kilo division.
Valerie, celebration at the top. 3 white lights. She moves into 9th place, which is where the bonus team scoring starts. 25th through 10th gets 1 point. Anything below 25th gets nothing. Starting at 9th place, each position up is worth more and more points. So in order to separate your team from the rest of the field, you have to get in that bonus division.
Critical lift here for Leia. If she pulls it, she'll stay in 4th, but it just extends her lead within that position. If she misses, that opens up the door for these lifters to swoop in and steal that placement. Leia, and with that, she drops down to 145 as her best deadlift, and so that just opens up the door a little bit for lifters like Isabella and Haley to try it and potentially come in and steal her placement out of 4th position.
Yeah, she currently sits in 4th now, forecasted 5th.
Looks like Isabella might be trying to swap placements with her as she attempts 175 down the road.
Helped out there by a big subtotal. Pays to squat and bench big.
Looking to crack into the top 10, Olivia, 155, gets the down command. And that's 3 white lights, and she provisionally lands herself in the top 10.
Yeah, we'll have 1 lifter and a couple lifters. Margaret, who's gonna attempt to pass her, but she has to make her lift, and that can be hard.
Talia, another lifter, looking to just extend her lead in that 8th place position. Already has that top 10 locked in. 157.5 for Kylie. Locks it out, gets the down signal, and our referees, looks to be a good lift. Let's see what the refs say. 3 white lights.
She currently sits in 8th place.
And the bar is ready for Kayla Reddy out of Texas A&M University, 157.5. This will be a 7.5 kilo PR for Kayla if she pulls this.
Unfortunately, just not there today. Still a good day for her. She got 13th.
Again, walks away with a 15 kilo PR on her total. Now this is a pull for a medal, platform 3. Haley Stamper, 162.5, looking to move from 6th to 5th place, looking to come home with some hardware. Currently bumping down Isabella. However, Isabella still has 1 lift remaining and she'll go down later in the flight. Haley Stamp, yeah, unfortunately just gets lost there at the knees. Walks away with a 6th place finish. Now Maggie needing only 2.5 kilos to bump Olivia out of 10th place and Margaret to sneak in and finish in the top 10. They're both currently tied on total. However, Margaret needs to beat Olivia off of body weight, so she needs to out-total her by at minimum 2.5 kilos.
And you see her coaches and her definitely know that. That's why she took that 2.5 kilo jump to that 162. She's going to break that tie in her favor.
Maggie coming out of UIC, University of Chicago, Illinois, Chicago. And just has some downward motion and hitching there. So fortunately that'll be a no lift for Maggie.
Yeah, gym PR all day, but not there on the platform today.
Yeah, I think she kind of knew it too. Just finishing out that lift is all that really matters. But I mean, she still walks away with a top 11 position out of over 40 girls at Collegiate Nationals. I mean, to finish within that upper third, upper fourth of the whole pack is pretty remarkable. Now for our one of our final lifters, Bala looking to bump Maggie out of 11th into 12th, and Bala looks to move a position up, but unfortunately just gets lost there at the quads. 165 is a no lift, still walks away with 155 kilos.
All right, on platform 3, the last 4 lifters have missed their 3rd attempt. Isabella hopes to change that. She's looking to move up a spot from 5th to 4th. Trying to pull 175 kilos.
Great save there from the spotter in the back.
Yeah, almost got it past her knees, couldn't quite break through that barrier. That's close though, she's got that soon.
Now our last 3 lifters on platform 3 are pretty solidly in place. Bella, Jessica, and Gina are all set in that podium position. However, each individual lifter is just looking to extend their totals and PRs. Jessica Haggerty, 177.5.
Patient at the top, she gets it all the way there. From the referees, 3 white lights.
And gives those fist bumps, thanking them for their time. Now Gina at a Stanford University. One of the schools we don't really see bringing a huge team to Collegiate Nationals, however, producing some incredible talent. Gina, to finish within the top 3 in one of the more competitive weight classes is really impressive. Gina, 180 kilos, just shy of 400 pounds. Third and final deadlift attempt.
Almost had it, lost grip at the lockout while fighting past it.
Again, still walks away third place, All-American. Great job for Gina out of Stanford University. But now, platform 3, Bella Delgado is performing a victory lap here, looking to go 9 for 9, breaking American record, become a 2-time national champion. I mean, just stack on the accolades for Bella Delgado.
She currently holds this national record. She set it on her last attempt. She is looking to up her own national record, 201.5 kilos.
From an 18th placement at Collegiate Nationals in Atlanta to now a 2-time national championship, winning in Oklahoma City, winning here in New Orleans. Bella Delgado, 201.5 kilos.
She pulls at the top. She
locks it
out.
It's got to be 3 white lights. Give it to her. 2-1. That's all you need.
That's a good lift. That's her national record.
And a 2-time national champion at Collegiate Nationals in the 56 kilo raw division.
Huge congratulations to Miss Bella. And that wraps up our lifting sport platforms 3 and 4. We are still lifting on platform 2. Platform 3 and 4 will resume in that next session for session 3 in a little bit.
In the afternoon. And so just to recap a little bit, we have the 56 collegiate women who just competed in the equipped division. Our winners there were Lexi Steinman, who totaled 455 kilos, Lydia Shields with a 407.5 kilos in that second place position, and Nicola Vallejos in that third place, rounding out the podium for your 56 equipped women. In the women's equipped 60 collegiate, we have Isabella Resendez, who wins with a 495 kilo total and winning on body weight over Anika Gonzalez, 495 kilos also in that total, and then Amelie Dupois with a 487.5, rounding out that podium position. And now over for the raw division, we have our top 3, Gina Gauck from Stanford University, a 405 kilo total, Jessica Haggerty with that second place position out of Midland University, 435 in a total, and Bella Delgado, your winner out of the University of Colorado Boulder with your first place finish and 2-time national champion. We still have the 60s lifting over on platform 2, so we are closing out the live stream here for our platform 3 and platform 4 lifters. We'll see you all for session 3.
Session 3 starts at 6:30.